continue so that market goes up and you can hold your oil futures names or just energy names to the downside. You'd be trading Oxy for all I know. That's probably a dog. So we're going to try to eat some chicken because we eat every single day.
Grilled herbed chicken.
Grilled herb chicken. We'll see how the potatoes are. I think it'd be pretty good. We'll throw you over to Leisure Suit Obi and Joey Options. We'll be back at 2.
Yo, yo.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the afternoon show. It's your boy, Joey O. You know who it is. And next to me is the Jedi Master himself, Obi. He is the one, Kenobi, in the Jedi suit today, for sure.
It's the last day of the week.
It's the last day of the week.
You gotta be comfy.
Gotta be comfy.
You gotta be comfy, especially when you're trading.
Gotta be locked in.
But you gotta be uncomfortable in the trades.
Gotta be, ooh, all right. So you gotta get comfortable somewhere.
That's the flip.
I agree with you. All right, guys, welcome. I hope everyone's having a fantastic day. Round 2, fight. Yes, sir. Boy, do I got a story for you guys here momentarily. It's going to be a little Joey vent. And the segment that we love, also known as What Grinds My Gears. All right?
Okay, nice. I didn't even know we did that. That's from Family Guy.
Is it?
Yeah, right.
They do that.
They have like a segment, like, you know, like what grinds my gears.
Yeah, Peter does it, right?
Yeah.
Peter does it. What grinds my gears, Joey knockout options. Yes, guys, hold on, Assassino. Don't do it just yet, my friend. Let's get into this market. Volatility stepping in. Obi and I talking last night as Donald Trump was going on with his speech regarding the conflict in the Middle East. Now, nonetheless, guys, hold on. Don't do it yet, Assassino. Let's see what we got going on for trades here today. I'm going to kick things off. What's going on here with the TQQQs? All right, cue the screen, Assassino. So we go 0-1-1 here. So we take an initial stop out, no issues whatsoever. We're looking for the short end that moved back lower. We get out. I'm like, okay, cool. Then we have an isolated volume print inverted hammer candle. I'm like, let me give this one more attempt. I'm looking for a quicker breakdown, but we didn't get it. And sure enough, I just take that break even stop out. And good thing that we did, because look at that rip your face off type PA right there. So starting the day 0-1-1. And to be honest with you, I wasn't even going to trade Obi until the midday show. And I'm going to get to that momentarily. Now, moving forward, TSLL. We take the Tesla long. So what I had here position-wise was literally like over 200% more size on this TSLL. Yes, I know it's significantly cheaper, but I really hammered the shares off of the lows. Made a mistake yesterday not putting enough shares on the TQ short and not holding it long enough. So there we go. We hammered this trade, and then I only got stopped out about 5%. Now, why wasn't I going to trade this morning? Are you guys ready for the What Grinds My Gears segment? I'm going to tell you right now. Obi, full disclosure.
Yes.
I walk into the office with 2 traffic tickets bright and early this morning.
Boy. Two of them.
And
both at the same time?
At the same damn time.
Okay.
All right, at the same time.
I mean, that's not as bad as getting them back to back.
No. So listen to me. At the exact same place, at the exact same time a year ago, literally at the exact same place. So what happened was, let's run through the story.
All right.
I'm ready to head to the office a little bit earlier. I go down a one-way street. Well, guess what? There's a garbage truck. So I'm like, you know what? Let me take my old style way where I previously got that ticket. I stopped taking it because of that reason. So sure enough, what happened what does Joey Options do? He's driving, I'm through the line, and the light turns yellow. I turn onto the street that I need to, the cop lights me up. No problem. I'm furious at this point, and I don't argue with cops. I hand them my information, and then I let them do their thing. I don't say a word. But this time, I was frustrated. I'm like, what are you doing? I didn't do anything wrong. Why are you pulling me over? Don't you have more important things to do? I'm just trying to head to work. Exactly.
Oh, no.
Exactly. So what happens was, the cop, she took my information, she took my insurance, she took my pink slip,
you told
my
her you got nothing better to do.
Yeah, I said that to her. I'm like, because I didn't do anything. Sure enough, comes back, lights me going through the amber color, and then also an obstruction of license plate. what is going on? My license plate is fine. I have nothing. It's just literally my license plate. So she gave me that ticket just to kind of push her weight around, and I was infuriated this morning. I was boiling because I legit, if I do something wrong, I can admit, but I did absolutely nothing wrong, and at the exact same place, at the exact same time a year ago, I get this ticket, and I was just so mad this morning. I didn't even trade whatsoever until later on.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that, man. That's.
But I'm fighting this to the fullest. I fought my last one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go.
So you turned on a yellow, so you're fine.
Fine.
Did you take a picture of your plate right away?
I'm going to. So
you should take a picture.
I should have. Right. I didn't think I was too infuriated. But anyways, they got their body cams.
Okay.
So if my license plate is obstructed, she should have my. My
as she's walking up to the car.
So I'm gonna go and ask. I'm gonna go ask around because I live right beside the police station. I'm gonna say, hey, is my license plate obstructed? And I'm gonna get a couple answers, see if they'll answer me on that one, and then I'm going to go and fight that one. So that was just, so that is what grinded Joey Options gears bright and early in the morning. I never take that bloody route, and that is the last time I'm ever going to do that. Once again, it was a frustrating morning, but nonetheless, we get to put on
series of unfortunate events.
Yeah, exactly. But it's such a coincidence, like the same time last year at the exact same place. Right? Yeah. So frustrating. Aside from that, guys, we put this Tesla trade on. Give us a little bit better of a mood here where we got a smile on now. We're looking for some more potential trades as well, too. But man, oh man, does that stuff ever get you mad?
Yeah, no, that's a little rough, Joe. So, yeah, I mean, here's the thing. It's a good thing that you decided that you're not going to be trading in the morning or keeping it light.
Man, I was
because
just too heated, man.
That's the thing with trading. You got to do your best as possible, especially like if you work at a firm, if you work at an office, or say maybe you even trade from home. When you step in through that door, you just got to physically just really prepare yourself and leave everything outside. You gotta leave everything outside, and that's a very hard thing to do. Obviously, easy to say, but it's good that you're aware of that, and things happen. Ish happens, and it is what it is. But glad you're gonna take that up and be like, yeah, I've seen your car. That license plate is not obstructed.
It's not obstructed.
That was just,
I don't
that was just a little bit of flex happening for sure.
She's
just
flexing
flexing
on you. On me.
Yeah.
So now, therefore, it's not. I'm gonna prove that it's not obstructed. Her credibility. It's no longer valid in my opinion, so therefore I'm doing the full most. You're gonna ruin my day. Well, guess what? I'm filing a complaint, and I don't do any of that stuff. I was mad, and I'm prepared to fight this to the fullest, for sure.
Yeah, no, that's a good one there. Apparently, is there some fresh news there? Ramin saying I'll try to putting news on the screen, y'all. Thank you for that, Ramin. So what have I done today? I did trade BL last night, Blue Ocean. Kind of rough. Got a little chopped up, had the initial short on USO from 126s down to 124s, 123s, and then it shot right back up. Didn't really flip on the 126 long, which would have been absolutely beautiful because as you guys see, we were gapping up. We went up to 132s and just grinded at the highs all night long. So I stayed up till like 2 a.m. just kind of looking for that pullback. Never really came, so I didn't really get involved. Got chopped up twice more and left it alone. I was like, yeah, I don't need to be spending more risk on this. I am obviously, my idea is wrong, but the initial short went like instantly, like $3 in the money. So I was like kind of, hung strung on that idea of like, okay, well, I need to time the short properly for the next one. Didn't really happen, but the shorts were happening all over the place in the market, and we got that gap down today. We're getting an aggressive rip up just now on some news that come out just before 11 o'clock. So yeah, kind of missed this USO short here. I think miss on my part was that observing that 140 false break and then not getting involved here at that 138. Look at how well it holds below opening range low at that 138 and then starts holding VWAP as a resistance, consolidating sideways. If I wasn't in then, the consolidation breakdown into 136 was probably the spot to be, and that's where that news comes in and we slam down. Now we're consolidating a little bit lower underneath 135. So I have no idea what I'm going to be doing here. The market pulls back. It seems like, Joe, that the correlation between the markets going up and the USO and oil going down, or the other way around, vice versa, is back. It's back in play. And we saw that wasn't necessarily the case yesterday, and it was kind of winding up, which is very interesting to me as well. And I've said this a couple times this week already. Price precedes the news, and we already saw how USO and oil was consolidating at the high of its range, and then we get that breakout gap up, and I'm like, all right, cool. Price kind of was telling me what was happening. The question always is going to be, was I actually listening? Right? The chart and the price action is almost always giving you pieces of information. The question always is, are you listening? Sometimes, I'm a good listener. Sometimes I'm a horrible listener. So it really depends on the decision making on the day. But I'm still waiting. We'll see if I can catch any sort of reversions, or maybe get with the trend as well. Right? That seems to be that was working last night, and I guess it's working once more today. Some of the names that were sold off aggressively, I guess yesterday into the end of the day, I'm seeing strong bids on them as well. Marvell again, Micron, one of the ones I have eyes on. Memory names, looking for a potential lower high on that one, but aggressive bid happening there as of right now. Google, not really the main one on watch. Let's take a look at these Mag 7s here. NVIDIA at its high day. NVIDIA's almost at its prior day high. That's interesting right here. Pre-market high and intraday high yesterday was a little bit of resistance. Oh boy, see, I already have some of my charting in here from before. Maybe some levels coming in on the day yesterday, but let's put that away. But yeah, maybe some supply sitting at 177 halves roughly. We're just straight up beelining into that area. So the question becomes, do we break out of this here, or do we pull back in as well? So different iterations of price action that I have going through my head of what may happen, and if it happens, then maybe I make certain types of decisions. But Micron was the one I was talking about. Look at this. This one I like a little bit better for a potential pullback, because look, we already had that aggressive bid yesterday, pulls back, and right now we're retesting some of those end of day lows with current day highs with a decent little bit of a pullback here. So I'll wait to see if the market does anything interesting here. The first news catalyst of today just happened in around, when was it? Let me just go to the SPY. I think it was like 10:40-ish. When did that come out? The volume actually started coming in around 10:30, 10:35-ish. Yeah, right there. But here's the thing. The market already was telling us that, yeah, okay, we're going to stair step up, bid up, and then just slaps the long aggressively right there. SPY high a day at 658.20. So decent look there. A lot of you guys are trading the Qs as well. Let's take a look at those. 586.01s. That's a clean high right there. That's a nasty wick. I didn't even see this one here. What happened at 1016 on the Qs? That's a little slap around right there. How much? 0.03% on a single candle. That's crazy. But actually, no, that's how it closed. Let's actually measure how far that was. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I was like, there's no way that's 0.03. Yeah, almost 0.5% in a single candle, and then slams right back down on the Qs at was it 1016? I don't know if that was real, but I guess whatever this chart shows tends to be pretty valid on the day. But yeah, let me know what things you guys are trading. I know some of you guys said that. KODK saying Taylor Abdi 2596. KODK, that's a name I haven't heard in a very long time. One of my best trades of all time happened on this stock right here. I don't know if I've told you the story of my Kodak long. From COVID times, and again, it was in and around the time when Trump was also president. That was a funny story, but we can cover it in a bit. But Kodak doing some relative volume today, decent. Thank you for pointing that out. Decent trend here as well. I don't know what the news on this one specifically is. Let's see if anything shows up here. No, nothing here. Let me know in the chat. What do you guys, if you guys know what's going on here with Kodak? But increased volume for sure. We got about 10 to 11 times relative volume on a name like this. I think that's pretty significant. Take a look at this market cap here. It's almost $1 billion, 882 million market cap right there on KODK. So a decent amount of volume being done on the day. Let's take a look at the hourly. What are we coming up against? Okay, this is a daily, monthly, maybe even a yearly breakout here of the $10 level on Kodak. Okay, that's something, again, something like this I'm definitely missing if I don't have alerts on, right? Yeah, good look there. Yeah, Ramin saying Kodak black. Yeah, no, Kodak green is what's happening today, Ramin, on this name. Some of you guys were saying that, is Obi going to be shorting some small caps today because Sharif is not here? Maybe, I don't know. I was honestly looking at CYCN. I remember we were talking to Luis about this yesterday. Maybe the short's coming in on a day 2. I did have this on watch this morning, but nothing too crazy, right? We've been bidding up off of the opening range lows on this one. REXN, I think that was. What was that one? REXN or NX? RENX, yeah, that was the one from yesterday as well. Yeah, not really doing too much volume. And then AGPU was another one that I was watching here, but still holding up quite nicely as of right now relative to some of that end of day consolidation lows on AGPU. So you guys let me know. Netflix saying...
Netflix doing...
I really cannot pronounce that. NTUJTS Shiba. Yaj Kiab. Okay, cool. NFLX. Let's see what's happening here. Oh, wow, look at that. That's an aggressive trend.
Yeah.
Yeah, Netflix almost back at 100, man.
Oh, flicks, baby. Yeah, that's exactly what we want to see. Mike Peter Ryder, Ram. Oh, you got that message deleted, my boy. Yeah, that wasn't me, man. But we got to... What's up, Bravely? Hope that you're doing good. I can tell that you're paying attention and you're listening. Excuse me, other than that, guys, I mean, Tesla has been lagging here. We had the delivery numbers this morning. See you later to a couple of models. The 3 and the Y are essentially what's holding this company up from an EV standpoint. I need to get myself into a robo-taxi. You know why I need a robo-taxi, Obi?
Why is that?
No more highway traffic act tickets, right? Yes. I'm not doing anything.
Yeah, that's a good question. What happens when the robot breaks the law? Like, have you seen some of those Waymo cars that I think I saw a video of, like this Waymo vehicle with passengers inside that basically drove into a conflict on the streets where they were having kind of like a shootout where a bunch of cops were standing on one side and there's a car there and then just kind of drove into the intersection all
I don't know whose fault is it? It's not my fault. So, I don't control the software. That's Elon's fault. Yeah. Ticket him. Fine, I would send the ticket.
I mean, if it's Waymo, then I don't know if it's Elon's fault, but
it's not my fault anymore. It wasn't Joey, man, that's for sure. Man,
wasn't me.
It wasn't me, man. And you know who was
turning on the corner? Wasn't me.
Was that NWA, man? That one song, The Police.
Oh, yeah.
You probably should
Fun song.
Anyway, aside from that, I didn't swear or anything, but yeah, hey, it is what it is, man. We take that one, we battle it out. It's Waymo's, it's not the way to go. Easy E, yeah, there it is, man. That's what I got to be listening to that. But I appreciate that, Sam. No, in all seriousness, guys, Tesla hasn't been I'm not angry. Tesla hasn't been participating on this rally up, right? Now we're just consolidating. We're not doing too much. I want to see a little bit more time. I need a little bit more data in order to determine which way I'm going to be taking a next potential trade. Considering I'm locked in with what we got going on with Tesla, flipping, we had an earlier loss on the TQs. This trade was substantially angry. Dumb, man. I was mad. I was like, yeah, I was very, very mad. That's going to be on the camera this morning. But anyways, as for Tesla, right? It's just chopping around, guys, and we got to be a little bit more patient. We're starting to form a shelf around that 1180 mark. If that breaks down, then we'll look for some more opportunities to get long. But essentially what we have now is established a higher low, which is positive. Now we want to see a little bit more of a pullback throughout this zone here, and then maybe a continuation, especially if the market's going to grind all day. I had that feeling that we were going to recover. Headline, did you listen to what Donald Trump had to say yesterday?
Yeah, of course. No, I was trading that.
Yeah. I guess we were talking. So someone said, Joey, can it be on the next episode of Cops Toronto? That's crazy, man. Never. No, I didn't say anything bad. I was just like, I just didn't understand the reasoning. Anyways, trying to justify something like that is out of my control. Essentially, like what we got to do here in the market, we just want to go with the flow, essentially. We have NVDA continuing to climb higher. Google has been on an absolute monster run. Netflix has been trading relatively well, including a lot of the other mag names. Amazon up as well too, guys. So some positivity stepping back in here, and this is what we kind of want to see, just a slow curl over, especially with a lot of these names being down 20+%. Now look at that pullback. That's exactly what we were looking for right there. What's up, Jeremy LeBou? Joey, INTC. Yeah, Intel was really strong here today, right? I believe they're buying back around 49% of the Ireland fab, so that could be that's positive for the business there. The fab aspect, that is, still need to get some more customers. Other than that, 10% stake from the Donald Trump administration. That's why Intel's been on a pretty good run as of late. We're up 3.66% here this morning.
Yes, sir. I'm looking at this USO finally breaking out of this bit of consolidation high. Market taking a bit of a pullback here. So I am watching this pretty closely here. Google is taking a little bit of a curl at the same time. So I'm going to be a little patient here. We've been holding underneath VWAP on USO pretty decently. Is this the time we're going to finally break out? I have no idea, but I do want to get involved with some of this right here if it'll have me into, let's see if we can get to 136's VWAP. I have at 136 halves here. Market decently pulling back at the same time here on the USO. But yeah, I know I asked you guys in the chat, what do you guys are talking about small caps? Let me know. Give me a list of small caps so I can definitely cover them. We can take a look at them, see what's going on at the same time. I'll take a look at some of the volume scanners as well to see if there's anything interesting happening, relative volume scanners. That'll definitely pick up on a decent amount of small caps that may or may not be running on the day. But right now, man, I think the market is definitely in play. Oil is definitely in play. So that's what I have my main focus on as of right now. A lot of people talking about VSA. Joe, you want to take a look at that VSA?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's take a look at VSA here. And then we also got a super chat assassino from our boy, Danny Boy. We'll go over that one there momentarily. VSA, no, TSA over here. Yeah, Vision SYS AI Inc. Hold on, let me tap into Unity here because I don't think that I'm logged in. There we go. I heard you talk about it in here through my earpiece. Now, as for this VSA, we'll head over to the daily. I'm not overly familiar. What kind of play is this, Obi? Would you have any idea or figure that out real quick? VSA, visionary for me, TMCD Kids ITV Education Inc. is a holding company principally engaged in providing information technology, focused supplementary science, technology, engineering, mathematics, STEM education services, targeting young children. Okay, so an educational platform. I like those, but what we've seen from a technical standpoint, it doesn't look overly good if you ask me, if I'm going to be frank with you. VSA. It's definitely a tougher look, and then you have the reverse split right here. So yeah, I mean, $212 down to this. I don't know if you'll ever have the ability to recover off of that there, Obi.
Yes, sir. Yeah, no. You got to keep a close eye on the on those ones, especially. 136 came in right away here on USO. So that's a quick little breakout. The breakout working almost instantly here. Decent push. Now I'm just looking for. Well, you know how VWAP sometimes there's a discrepancy between different platforms. So I look over at my other platform and it's like, all right, we're already at VWAP, just above 136. So I'm like, all right, cool. If that's going to be the case, then I do want to take some off right there. But it seems like we got some Momo on our hands, and yeah, that's the thing. I want to get involved with Momo here. If we're going to have a little bit of a push back up, you see on our platform P8. That VWAP is sitting just above that 136.60. We're only about 20, 30 pennies away from there now. So we'll wait and see if that'll potentially come into fruition. But I do want to kind of start to piece off a little bit here. That's all I wanted. See, if I was in at 135.40s or even, let's say, 135.25s, that quarter up there, I think I would be holding this a little bit longer. But I chased in with some decent size here on the 35 half break, and I got in 78. So that's like that is a very much a chase. So I do want to piece off pretty aggressively into it as well. So we'll wait and see if it can get to that half, but out of 3/4 of that right now on USO. Quick little scalps. That's what I like. Just gonna, a lot of times you guys are observing how I like to kind of transact here, but. I'm finding more success, Joe, with just waiting and letting things just fall into my lap most of the time, and then that's just like
USO right now.
Yeah, it's just I think that's the way I'm feeling a lot more comfortable. Like I don't need to force anything necessarily. Most of the time when I am forcing things, it's just not a pretty picture, right? So. When things are working, I'm like, okay, they should go right away. Some of the best trades, they go pretty much instantly in the money, if not within a short amount of time. So that's something that I keep in mind and make sure I have that in the back of my mind while I'm in the trade as well. So that was a little bit of a VWAP test right there. We could, I guess, probably get to 135 halves, but we got to 135.40s, I think. I don't know what the high of that candle is. Let me make sure I know specifically. Yeah, the high was 136.47. So I was looking for 50s. I was sitting on halves, but if that's not going to have me, then that's perfectly fine as well. I'll take it all off right there. Thank you. Come again. Where's the next trade? So quick little scalps there. I'll wait. Let's see if we can get back above VWAP. Maybe these are good reasons to sell, right? Maybe this is where sellers step right back in. Because Joe, guess what? We had strong bid right here. I tried to take the long in the morning. Here, I wonder if I blow this up here. There we go. So it's kind of hard to see on a white background. That's why I really dislike trading on charts that are white. I like gray or darker color is definitely more like a black even is more of my kind of chart. But you can see here I tried the long and I was pretty aggressive. Stopped out, but here's the thing, man. I already knew coming in if I'm trying to long, I should get it off of VWAP. This is I'm getting in way too early right here. And then I stop out because I'm like, this is getting to VWAP. I don't need to risk another 50 pennies. It drops down exactly in and around VWAP and then bids right back up. So I'm like, all right, fine. I'm gonna get in. I'm gonna get in more and then get aggressive as it breaks out. And then it starts to kind of stall a little bit around 39 halves. I'm like, all right, this is probably getting to 40, but I just instantly punched out of everything, which was kind of maybe not the best decision there. But I could have gotten an extra 50 pennies, whatever. Tried again on this turn, instantly turned back. So I'm like, all right, no. But here's the thing. It was telling me that it is a decent short underneath VWAP. That's what I'm trying to get at. And now we got right back to VWAP right here. So are these good reasons to sell? I have no idea, but this is where sellers have been since about 950 on USO. Now, of course, at the same time, I want to be watching crude oil. Let me see if I can pull up a chart of a live crude oil here. I forget what John told me one time what the CL. You know what? I think if I turn on my thing, it'll the autofill. You have autofill on?
What's that?
Autofill when you type in a stock. I have to turn my autofill on 1 second. But I'll pull up the live futures chart of oil, and we can take a quick look at what autocomplete symbol. That's what I'm trying to do here. So CL. Boom, 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 boom. Maybe not. Let me type in crude oil. Let's see. Okay, QM NYMEX. So we're looking at, I guess, April futures, right? March, April 26 futures. E-mini QM J26. Let's see if this will show up right here. That is not the right one. Okay, I'll have to ask Sean which one it is after he gets back. CL Crude. Yeah, no, I know it's CL, but in our system it might be a little bit different here. We'll get it up. But regardless, I just want to make sure there's Confluence. Is crude oil actually holding its volume-weighted average price as well at the same time, or not? Crude oil. What else? This all QM, ZG, and J's. Yeah, no, I'm not really seeing it here. I remember I pulled it up last time, but we'll figure it out in a bit. Regardless, I'm just going to be watching USO here. Let's see if it makes those higher highs and higher lows, because this could be stepping up if the market continues to pull a little bit lower. But you can see here a lot of wick action here on the 15-minute charts. Let's go back to a 3-minute. That's what I'm looking at here on USO. Wow, you see how distinctly different this is? Why is this so different? Come on. See, this chart is different than my other chart as well. USO. Am I looking at the right thing? This says it's above VWAP. That's crazy, isn't it? Yeah, my chart on the right side says we're right at VWAP, and that's my paid version of this platform, and then this is, I guess, the free version of this platform tells me that I'm on top of VWAP, and our platform tells me that we're still underneath VWAP. So there's a lot of discrepancy between where VWAP actually is, but we're holding structure above.
Yeah,
we're holding above this consolidation.
Well, too, is that, man.
There's no consistency there.
No consistency.
Where is
it's
that?
like, oh my God. Crazy. Wobbly pops on Mike P. Dryden. I don't think that was worth. I mean, a wobbly pop isn't wobbly pops. I mean, I think we can hold that one from being blocked there bravely. That's not nothing really bad. At the end, anyways, you do your thing. Yeah, Mike P. Dryden. No wobbly pops for me though. We're just gonna be relaxing. Hit the gym after this. It's essentially Friday right now. We're getting the Friday feels. We have one good trade. We'll look to put on some other positions. Gora, we're starting to break down here in Tesla. I mean, if we look at some of the secondary and tertiary trends, right, we have this continuous downside. So, yeah, ran in full action over here. And then there we go. We're starting to get that breakdown in Tesla, and the market still hovering around these highs, a consolidation high. If we're looking to short this market right now, we got to keep an eye on, obviously, the larger participants. We talk about this time and time again and almost on a daily basis. What is Apple up to? What is Google, most importantly? I think it's just at times so heavily correlated with that name. But we are starting to form this shelf, right? I could get in mid-range, risk a little bit here. With a stop just above. We want to give it to 40s. Oh, okay, the volatility's in, so the ATRs on this have definitely expanded, and I'd have to size down in order to get involved in this here for the potential breakdown. We're gonna hold off just in case it's a bull flag too, right? Like we can take a look at the cues. If we're going to remain strong, we've already filled all of that gap. This is overnight trading in Blue Ocean right here. We've already filled all of that and then some, broke through the consolidation lows before we decided to move, before we decided to sell off when Donald Trump started speaking yesterday. And then sure enough, we wick up here, and then now we're starting to just form this bull flag. And the exact same thing in the SPY. So a solid recovery off of yesterday's losses there, considering stuck in this congestion zone. IWM not too bad, and the SPY doing the exact same thing. So S&P not looking too bad over there, guys. As for, I want to know what the banks are up to be honest with you. So let's take a look at JPM. All right, bull flag from a low of around 288 to 293. That's not bad whatsoever. DAL, Delta Airlines, that's incorrect from a VWAP standpoint. So disregard that. Moving forward, Caterpillar, we were talking about this morning. just from an XLI, if you're looking at the industrials, Caterpillar being the heaviest weighted, and rightfully so in my opinion, okay? Here's my favorite stock, always knocks it out the park here. Essentially, they buy every dip. Shout out to Dana White and company, the WWE. We're only down 9%. This is a name that I'm gonna look to get involved with. I think that it only goes up from here in my opinion. Full disclosure, I don't own any just yet, but I'm looking to get involved with some. And the market's starting to head a little bit lower here, Obi. That 43.11 entry would have been pretty good when we were eyeing that one out. That would have been around just on the upper echelon of the consolidation range. I was trying to get as high as I possibly could. Not necessarily always the case, but hey, so be it. Maybe we get a little bit of a breakdown, or just avoid the short in general and just look for other long opportunities to see a participant step right back in. Here's Netflix. After Paramount Skydance won that bidding war between Netflix and obviously PSKY, winning that Warner Brothers deal, see you later. This stock just absolutely decided to rip, and I think that we're going to continue on that path. This is a healthy pullback, if you ask me, especially after that big gap up and that massive move in the post market. Now, as for the trend line, snapped. It's exactly what we want to see, essentially, right? And it's going to be across the board. It's no different for me. Regardless, I think a lot of people can agree it's just like, hey, it's all price at the end of the day, and we know that price is king. So when it displays that it's ready to start turning around or do something along those lines, it's time for us to take advantage of it, and that's why I'm not buying any more Bitcoin. I want to get it on the back end of this trend. Am I going to get it at the best price possible? No, but what it will do is allow me to put probability in my favor that the trade is going to continuously work, and that's all we're trying to do at the end of the day is put probability in our favor and not join the Hunger Games, because essentially the odds were never really in anybody's favor there, Obi.
Yeah, for sure. People pointing out that BATL is going as well. So yeah, I did pull that up at the same time. So we'll see. VWAP maybe a little bit of struggle here. So I do want to correct one of my mistakes there. Earlier I did say that, oh, what's happening here? That was the 9 EMA, and I was like, that line looked funky to start off with, and it was the 9 EMA that was hugging so close. That was my fault. I apologize. I put that VWAP back on there, and you can see we are, well, now we're above VWAP, but at the time when we were talking about this, we were kind of testing in and around this VWAP area. So I do want to kind of make sure we're on the same page for that. But would you look at that, like right there? So I kind of flipped short underneath that half. We'll see. We'll wait and see if that potentially comes into fruition here as we pull back into 136. As sellers really stepping in as the market bids right back up here on the NASDAQ and the ES. The question now becomes: are we going to continue making higher highs, higher lows? Or are we going to take a bit of a pullback here with the market bidding up the way that it is? I have no idea. We just bounced off of 136s here on USO. Market just went red to green on its 15-minute candle at the same time. So gotta be patient with some of these moves. On one chart, I have it holding VWAP. Now on this chart, I have it underneath VWAP. So keeping that in mind that we are in that VWAP area. So turbulence definitely expected, to say the least, here on this USO move. But it seems like sellers may be stepping in with buyers coming in on the market at the same time. And that BATL, I was watching that closely as well. That's pulling back slightly after doing a bit of a wick shimmy dance up into, what is that, 75s? Yeah, so we'll wait and see if that comes into fruition as well as VWAP continues to hold here on USO. And you can take a look at that. Look at that, I guess, hammer candle formation on the NASDAQ at the same time. That's all I really have going on, just watching this.
USO working out for you pretty good to bounce off VWAP there.
For now. Times, it's still right. It's still in that area, so I don't know. I could very well be wrong on this. At the same time, we have broken out of that 135, holding 136s. So if we break back above this 136 halves, then yeah, I'm probably definitely a little either too early or definitely wrong on this move here. So I'll wait and watch. I'll keep it tight.
Right on, brother, right on. Aside from that, guys, I'm thinking maybe we get a little bit of an attempt going here on Tesla. It did break that downtrend line. We're sitting on the backside of it. It is a secondary trend, right? It's not a primary trend. And this is the one that I'm talking about right now. If you ask me, we're moving sideways on this name. So if you can catch the lower end of the range or be as close to it as you possibly can, then by all means, I think we can put ourselves in a good position here for a potential breakout. Obviously, those delivery numbers, not boding well for Tesla. Essentially running off of 2 models here at this point. Get that robo-taxi out here so your boy can get one. It probably won't be in Canada for quite some time, to be honest with you. And I'm thinking, like, what are we gonna do for underground parking? Like, how are we gonna go about that? I don't know. I don't know enough about the technology, LiDAR, or the camera system that they're gonna be operating off of. So, I mean, underground parking, no signal. What do we do, right? What are we gonna do, ladies and gentlemen? All right, let's get involved a little bit here on TSLL. We don't want to give back too much on the day. It is Friday. We caught a couple of tickets this morning as well, so we don't want to get too frustrated. So if this breaks this pivot low and heads into 65, then we're gonna get out of Dodge on that one. Other than that, yeah, it's Thursday. Oh, yeah, sorry, KT, for the win. It is Thursday, but it feels like a Friday.
It is technically the end of the week.
It is the end of the week.
We got,
you guys know what I mean.
Tomorrow is off. Tomorrow is Good Friday.
Good Friday. I hope you guys have a... I know. Gee, oh, my God. Jumped down my throat a little. I know it's not Friday. It feels like a Friday. Oh, my Lanta. It's the market Friday. Thank you, Angelo. Aside from that, Obi, we're long a little bit more TSLL. I have... about 10% of what I had on with this initial position. So just going really small. If it decides to break out and go on a little bit of a rally, then by all means, we can add a little bit more to it. I like that we got in off of that pullback. 75s would have been more ideal, but it is what it is. And yeah, there we go. A nice little pop there on TSLL, Obi.
Yes, sir. So I guess we're holding above some of those, there it goes, 137s here. So we're probably going to get out of this one and look for the next trade. Definitely not correct on that. As we continue to push higher, we pulled back into VWAP. That 136 hold, I guess, was a bit of information, and then 137s came in pretty soon, only about a few minutes later. So yeah, wait and see where the next trade is. Can't win them all, and it seems like USO is continuing to win to the upside for the longs at the very least there. But still, I usually like to give it like 50 pennies to like roughly, 50 to 75 pennies in and around that VWAP to really show me that, it's going to hold as a level. So we'll wait and see if that comes into fruition. But the market's just chopping around. You can see for the past, what is this, almost four 15-minute bars, about 3 to 4 minutes left to finish printing this one. We've just been kind of sideways, consolidating, chop, dojis, maybe a little bit of a red hammer here at 10:45, but nothing too crazy. But sideways consolidation, and as the market just consolidates sideways, oil is slowly creeping right back up. So I think 140 is going to be interesting. If we can get through 140 today on USO, that's definitely going to be something that I'm watching. I'll have a close eye on. But yeah, other than that, we'll see if we sustain above VWAP. This prior structure here, 136, 137s, 138s, if we can hold above that as well. Already, I guess right here was the best place to hold this trade from, that 135 quarters to 135 halves. Even the 135.75 starting to look a little bit better now as we push almost 137 halves, 137 quarters holding right now on USO. What are you guys up to? What are you guys trading? Let's see, oil needs to reject here and retest the 200 MA again, saying 907 Warrior. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I'm looking for a potential rejection, but if it's not going to do that, which it's showing us right now that it's already bounced. It gave us a bit of a capitulation, right? That's the thing here. It gave us that capitulation. I tried a cheeky little short here at VWAP, but again, I think bigger picture of the trade here was, buying up the capitulation, taking the breakout of this consolidation, and then the VWAP push and the hold here as well was a lot of information. So we'll wait and see if we can find a place to continue this long, maybe try to accumulate some inventory to take into 140 on USO. People are saying USO and VIX slowly creeping up, saying Chris Onion, yeah, I would suspect so. VIX was at 27 today. Last I saw. Let's take a look at what it's at right now on the VIX. Okay, 25. So yeah, gap of 27s, 28s almost, and then coming into the open here, you can see a little bit of a reversion of volatility at the same time. Again, you saw how aggressive that bid was on these here markets in the first half of the day. So a lot of many hours left. So I do not think it is over.
No.
When it comes to this volatility today.
We could do this live as well too. Your boy Joey needs a haircut, so we're gonna book it with my guy Andy from Argentina there this morning. Whoa! We don't want that, we don't want that, my boy. We don't want the haircut there. Where is it? Haircuts plush wash. We don't want that. Just the haircut, my boy.
Nice.
Whoa. Let's see what we got going on for Saturday. We like doing things bright and early, 10 a.m. We're gonna book that one up there. We're gonna pay in person there, my boy. Oh, I gotta do all this. A haircut, yeah. Yeah. So we're doing it live, man. That's right. If we get a haircut.
You know, show. That's not the actual total, is it?
But I clicked two things by accident.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. No.
It says 120. It says a bill 20.
120, man. They're gonna charge me 120 for a haircut. I'm like, come on, man. I don't get a discount because I don't have that much hair.
Bro. You paying 120? Come on, bro.
No. I'm paying like 45, man.
You should just come.
Where's your guy down the street?
I'll cut your hair for like $20, bro. Come on. I'll give you a nice taper fade. Come on.
That's crazy. Let's go. All right, man. Neil, was that you, Neil? Who was that? That was Assassino. $20. All right. What, you cut hair, Assassino? Oh, snap. Okay, all right. Anyways, aside from that, yeah, okay, Ram, whatever. Ram says I cut hair. Yeah, I would. There's zero chance I would. Yeah, trust me.
Ramin's gonna be charging you like 2 bills.
It's good. How much that gonna cost me, Ramin, for that fade, for that temp fade? I have videos. Okay, send them on. Maybe I'll give you a little business. USO bouncing. Yeah, let's head right back into these market, guys. Enough horsing around here as the NASDAQ is heading a little bit lower, still in that consolidation. We're long a little Tesla, bounced right over to that off of VWAP. We could have hopped out a little bit. If it continues to bleed lower, then we'll just get out of Dodge. But USO on the way up. Let's get right back into it and see what we have here on USO. Obi, you're no longer in USO.
No reason to be there.
No reason to be in it?
Yeah, long. No reason to be in it short.
But you're not long anymore.
No, I was long, and then I got short underneath VWAP, and it broke above VWAP.
Why'd you get out of the long?
Because it was holding VWAP.
Okay.
The initial push was just a scalp into VWAP.
Okay.
Right?
All right.
But I think the secondary trade could have been easily where it holds that VWAP, it breaks out of it. So maybe instead of adding and then stopping out right away, I could just be stopping out and then flipping. And then continuing that push right there.
Yeah. But, I think didn't even come back to your break even, did it?
No, it did. It because the thing is, I chased. I had 78s. I think ideally, I'd like it zoom better into like 39s.
Can you zoom in on that?
I can try to make this a little bit bigger here. So this consolidation breakout was at, if we get really specific, I'd say 35 halves, 135 halves. If I had it anywhere near 135 halves, I would have been a little bit better, but I did get a little aggressive at 78s, so I just pieced it off right into VWAP here. But as we hold the structure a little bit higher, maybe I'm looking at these prior support and resistance levels at the same time to get involved with this one as of right now. Or maybe I'm just waiting for the next piece of news, right? That could also be a thing. But guess what? Something is distinctly different. You can see BATL not really following in suit of oil. And I mentioned this a little bit earlier yesterday as well, that some of these stocks that are oil related, even though BATL trades on the Amex, don't necessarily have to follow what oil is doing. BATL got all the way up to 30 on the hype just a couple weeks ago, a few weeks ago, maybe like a month or two ago. But we've faded off beautifully off of that. So shout out to anybody who's been swing shorting the battle, because that battle has been relatively easy if you got in on the backside. So it's still working out, right? Still seller, very seller dominant, even on the pops. Every single pop on BATL, if we go back and look at a higher time frame here, we'll just go to a 30-minute, and you guys should be able to see how well this thing has faded off of its prior highs. Every single pop after we broke the structure. And look at the volume fade off as well. It did the most volume in the first few days of hype, right? Maybe here as well, February 19th, it does well, sideways consolidation, holds price. We're actually back into some of those levels where we broke out from, which is probably why it's going sideways again, because we went sideways there before. And then you had aggressive volume on March 2nd, March 3rd, March 4th, volume starts to die down. And take a look at this. How much percent of a move? Almost 550. So almost 550% from some of those lows. And this is definitely the backside of the move. But here's the thing, we're doing decent relative volume. Oil's back at high, so maybe it's going to get some attention and do some volume as well, but maybe not looking at it in the same direction as oil is how I personally would be kind of trading it. Just kind of on its own action is probably a better look than to really be like, okay, oil is breaking out or oil is catching a bid. Can we try to find a bid here on BATL as well? You can see here, the reversion of that downtrend off of the open was quite nice. Opening range low was quite nice. Some of these pre-market highs where supply stepped in, that's exactly where supply stepped in during the intraday as well. And then pre-market, this consolidation low, it's not the ultimate low, but I like to look at certain volume events, if you want to call it. This is a strong bid with a decent amount of volume here. So that low came in at 481, and you can see here, 481, if you hit that, doesn't look back. If you hit the opening range low, it doesn't hit back.
Breaking structure here, Obi.
Coming
It's
down?
It's a little slow, but I mean, it's still breaking down. 5-minute candle opening up south of that consolidation zone. So now at this point, considering how slow things have been moving and the volume's not really picking up, it's just like wait for one more pullback. I'm gonna get out of this TSLL trade. There it is. It broke through that level of mine, and the momentum is starting to pick up. There's multiple opportunities for me to get in here. Like, look how many times it touched up on that level, but I'm just like, man, I got out of that Tesla. We had the successful long earlier. I don't think it's gonna be the case. Delivery numbers came out here today. And then also with the market. So essentially, if this volume really starts to accelerate, let's see if we can get a pullback to 43. At some point, we are going to come in within this range. And as long as we establish a lower high, then that might be our green light to go. But momentum really starting to accelerate. I just wanted to point that out there, guys. Tesla continuing to slide. NVDA heading to the south side. Google starting to pull back in as well, too. Apple, what are you doing? Exact same thing. So these bull flags are starting to fail, all right? Be prepared for that. Meta, same narrative. It's across the board on all of the larger participants. Now, let's see if we can get, there it is. Oh, of course.
Wow, there it goes.
Yeah, I know, man. I really, really wanted to short up there at 43.16s. But I was just like, man, I don't want to get caught in a bull flag, man. Oh, the hesitation can get you, but we'll be patient on that one. We give a little bit back, nothing substantial on this trade here. We get out at 10 cents worth of risk there, and now it's continuing its slide. Now we have to be patient to see if we're going to get that pullback. It may take a little bit longer than what we're expecting. Is USO still continuing to climb there? Yeah, it's ripping right now, guys. $138 there on USO. Yesterday at the close, it was sitting around $122. So we're up substantially on today. At this pace, I think we go and test this pre-market high, and then maybe we can continue to climb from there. So be prepared. Long USO and potential prolonged shorts in the market is what I'm thinking. Going to be patient and wait for some prime time entries and wait for a potential breakdown. Even as we inch closer to the volume weighted average price, I have to be really cautious on my risk to reward ratio here and only put on X amount. We give a little bit back. We don't want to get back too much on the day.
Yeah, for sure. This USO just keeps slowly creeping up. I mean, I guess the pullback to 137s was a place to potentially get in, but I'm watching it in and around here. I can show you guys what I'm looking at. I've marked up some levels here. Let me see what's. Okay, yeah, I can show this. So these are the levels I've marked up here, kind of opening range low, opening range high, some of these consolidation levels here as well. So yeah, it's kind of creeping up back into this level here. I want to see what it does. It's been stair-stepping right back up post capitulation here on USO. So that's kind of what I'm watching pretty closely. Yeah, that VWAP, this was a miss right here. I have to get long on this kind of action, especially after we get right back above VWAP and reclaim. Pretty decent, but you know, I like the reversion as well. We'll wait and see if that potentially comes in.
We missed Danny Boy's super chat twice.
Okay, let's see what Danny Boy's up to.
Okay, so we have actually Adam James here first, $2 super chat. Thanks, my friend. Hope you're enjoying the digital nomad life. Happy Passover and Holy Week, oh boy. And Joe Boy, what's going on? Love, thanks. A bunch of hearts there. Now, son of Daniel, Cheese Tycoon. Joe, if Obi was with you in the car when you got pulled over, he could have waved his hand and said, "This is not the droid you're looking for."
Yeah, that's true.
So I mean, where were you when I needed you the most, Obi?
It's funny. One time I got away from. Well, I wasn't in the driver's seat, but I was in the passenger seat, and
way to not obviously get yourself in a little bit of trouble by stating that you weren't in the.
Yeah, no, so this cop comes over to the vehicle, and it was funny. You know, I'm not going to say the whole story, but I don't know if you've seen. Wow, there goes some selling right there off of 138s. But I'll be a little bit more patient. But I don't know if you've seen the picture of me and my mustache. Have you seen?
So.
Have you seen the?
Yeah. I've seen one of those,
so
yeah.
It was funny. The cop is totally like bewildered by the mustache. As soon as he like, he's just like, hey, can you, he's just like, you drop the window down, and instead of talking about why we were kind of stopped, he starts talking to me about the mustache. Total distraction.
Easily. That's
and then I kind of talked us out of whatever he pulled us over for. But yeah, it was kind of funny. Yeah, cops love stashes, saying JL822. Yeah, exactly.
Stash, eh?
You got to hit him with the stash.
AC with the $10 super chat. Let's see what we got going on. It's TCGL going to open. Says it's halted up at 300, but it's been T12 for weeks. It's a great question. Let's figure that out here and pull up with TCGL. I don't even have any data on this one. Oh, wow. For weeks. We got on the daily. T12 for weeks. Do you know the T12 halt parameters or anything along those lines, Obi?
What do you mean?
Like T12, so it's been on halt for weeks.
So news pending?
Yeah,
is that news pending halt, I think?
Maybe.
Yeah, no.
How long can that halt go on for?
Oh, until further notice.
Yeah.
Especially if it's a news pending halt. It can. Sometimes things have been halted for months,
okay.
if not longer. So until they figure out whatever is going on there, that halt is just up in the air. That's a scary thing about some of these types of halts, right?
Yeah, unlike standard volatility pauses, they typically last 5 minutes. T12 halt only ends once the exchange, usually NASDAQ, receives and satisfied with the additional information for the company. So there's no fixed time limit. So until they come to a conclusion, whatever the issue may be, it's going to remain halted. So yeah, that's suspicious activity, suspected manipulation, regulatory non-compliance as well too. So yeah, that is not good, Casey. I'm not saying that obviously for what's going on with that name, considering, right? This thing might not open up anytime soon. We're getting that pullback in the NASDAQ here, Obi. We may as well take a shot at it here and see if we can get a little bit of a breakdown. We'll take that trade right there. Pullback failed to put in a new high, rejected the structure, and then now that's our green light to go. If it breaks through 43, then we get out of the position. No worries about it whatsoever. Going full size on this one. TQs, this is exactly what I was waiting for, to be frank with you guys, and now it's slowly starting to work. So we'll take that. pullback. Look at this, rejects this support level, acts as resistance, and now let's see if we can continue to climb a little bit lower here in the TQQs. I have to be prepared to get out as well. Hammer candle at a structure level, and if the big boys want to climb higher, then we have to get ready to get out of the trade.
Yes, sir. So I did get a little bit involved here once again on USOs. It's kind of giving us a little bit of a chop here at 138. We'll see. We'll see if this one comes into fruition here. VWAP all the way down here at what is this, 136.60s here. I'm in from 137.60s. So a little bit of a chop. Definitely against the grain here when it comes to the trend that USO's been holding. But we'll wait and see if this one comes in to that VWAP, as again some aggressive sellers stepping in. I've been watching this thing all the way from 135s, 136s, 137s, and then 138s as well. So yeah, maybe some distinct difference. I could very well be wrong. It could be a misread as well, but I'm gonna stick with what I'm seeing here and how I feel about it. But wait and see. A bit of a trend break as well, on maybe not a higher time frame, but definitely a little bit of a shorter time frame. We'll see if I can catch a scalp out of this one here. Yeah, no, let me know what things you guys are trading. AMD, I haven't seen AMD in a while here. Let's take a quick look at AMD at the same time. Okay, cool. AMD, decent strength on AMD. Not really looking too much like some of the rest of the names here, but consolidating at the highs, decent push. I guess we held that 200 quite well here on AMD. Bit of a consolidation high at just shy of 215s, 214.89s there on AMD. Sideways consolidation. So we'll wait and see what this market is up to. Just chop, chop, chop for the past, 4 or 5 15-minute candles. So let's take a little bit of a break and let's see what Neil is up to with his lesson of the day, guys. We'll see you guys soon.
Revenge is a dish best served cold, or not at all if you're a trader. The importance of, you hear revenge trading all the time, and I think one of the things that people make the assumption about revenge trading is like, oh, it has to take on a certain form. A revenge trade, oh, it has to be that you took a hit and then you immediately jump into another position, the same position again. It's like, oh, so you've lost, you do the same thing again because you're mad. But the truth of the matter is, a revenge trade really can take many forms. And the most important aspect of it is something has happened in your trading. It could just be the market did something unexpected, whether you won or lost. You could have made a mistake. I talked about keystroke errors yesterday. And then your next decision is made on emotion. So it doesn't have to be I'm jumping into the same trade again that I just lost in. It could be I keystroked over here, I see another setup that's not really there because I'm mad and I'm trying to make that money back. The most important aspect of it is you're doing something based on the emotion of something that occurred before, and you are acting on it without a clear, clear mind, a clear strategy. Something is askew. A small part of that is, I think, it's not really the gambler's fallacy, but there's a little bit of it that sometimes it's like, oh, I'm due. Like the universe burned me there, so therefore the next one I should be able to get it back. Like that kind of a notion. Or some people revenge trade because they have like 10 bad in a row. It's like, well, the 11th time that I short this, it could work. The 11th time I take this setup, it's going to work today. Well, remember, the market doesn't really care about what happened previously. Nothing is due to happen. Stock doesn't have to turn. The market doesn't have to start resembling what it did yesterday. You only have what's in front of you. A couple of things that you can do to maybe not revenge trade is have a mental checklist when you're making a trade. And the way I usually have that checklist go has something to do with, and you've probably seen me do this live on the show, where I'll just launch into it'll sound like a pre-recorded explanation of what this trade is gonna be, and I say it so many times that you're like, oh, well, there it is again, I can kind of tune out. But that's the explanation of the story of your trade. If you force yourself to say, okay, I'll give you the example that I led with And on my last trade in Boyle, we'll see if I get back into it. I'll keep it relatively simple, like Boyle and USO today. My whole notion with this thing was, all right, we're gapping up in energy and Boyle is weak, just like yesterday. So I want to look short. However, the one thing I have to keep in mind is eventually it could follow suit. As long as USO isn't screaming to the upside, I want to look for short entries in Boyle, whether that's lower highs on trends or that's topping tail candle re-entries or simply VWAP. That's the condition I want. But notice how there's a topping tail and I'm not in right now. You know why that is? Because what happened to USO? I'm explaining all of it. Like, while it was going down, I was doing all those things. I'm shorting it on trend. I'm shorting it on topping tail wicks. I'm shorting it at VWAP. All of these things I was doing before USO did something different. It broke the trend, and now I have to have a different mentality, which is, does it regain its downward trend, something like this, which it looks like it's trying to do. It can confirm under VWAP, and then I would jump back into the trade. Now, I say that to myself so that I'm not already in this short. So when I'm going through that explanation for myself, it's like, oh, that one thing doesn't fit. Oh, I don't put on the trade. It's part of what we talked about yesterday. Sometimes the trade you don't take is the best one, or talking yourself out of it. I have no issues doing that. If you don't talk yourself out of every trade, you'll take every trade out there, whether it's good or not. You know that line that it's like, someone who doesn't believe in anything will fall. Someone who believes in nothing will fall for everything. That's the place that I want to be. A trader should be like that. If you're not beholden to your trading plan, to the chagrin of, if this move ends up going back into the low and I miss it, it's like, oh, yeah, Neil, you missed a trade. I miss lots of trades. I also do that so that I'm consistently profitable and not over trading. You've got to have that mentality. I'm not trying to fall for everything. And sometimes you will. And then the other side of the coin is, sorry, excuse me for a second. When we're talking about revenge trading, oftentimes the other way that it can come out is if you leave something on the table. This is the other style of revenge trading where you didn't have a loss. But maybe, just maybe, you didn't get as much out of a trade as you thought you should have. Now, in this particular case on Intel, I didn't get all in on that short. I kind of missed like the topping tail of the wick. Sorry, as I'm choking on like a couple of pieces of lunch I had. It's not bad. I'll tell you guys later. But I didn't get all in, and I got out early. Like a lot of things that I think I could have done better with that Intel trade. And we come back up to the top. Now, at this moment, when it comes back into those highs, there's still a few conditions that have not been met. Like I don't see USO breaking out to help the short. So really, like that short's a momentum play more than anything else. It's just a $50 level. But here I care about the market sentiment. So am I going to jump into that short on a strong stock when we still have that downtrend over in USO? I don't pull the trigger there. Would it work? Okay, fine, it probably would have worked, but that's not how you should judge it. A trader who has that FOMO, a trader who has that revenge, will look at it and say, Intel owes me money because I didn't get all in at this price last time, or I didn't hold it all the way, so it owes me at that price. I therefore have to take it. This is an example of it didn't fit my conditions when it came back in, so I didn't make the trade. Would it have been right? Yes, it would have. But you can't get mad at yourself for that. If you're going to avoid revenge trading, then you have to have a plan of action. And if something isn't met, you don't take the trade. So it's easier for me not to revenge trade because I go through that process over and over again every single day for years and years and years. And that's just part of the trader's journey. Have I ever revenge traded? Of course I have. We're all human. And I mean, if you're a robot, let me know. It'd be pretty cool to meet one. But we're all human. All you're ever doing as a trader is reducing your mistakes to as close to zero as possible. And if you can do that, and you have a solid trade plan and trade positive expectancies, then you can be a consistently profitable trader. It's possible. It's not easy. That's why it seems so, you have all this boring hard work that you have to do, and this whole process of, I have to be able to explain my trade. Well, if you can't explain the trade and why you're taking it, and why maybe you shouldn't, and where you should get out, and why you should get out, then you're just sort of out there like throwing you-know-what into the wind. And that's not what you should be doing as a trader. Because again, if you want to get paid, then you've got to make sure that you're not getting blown up and having those big hits, which is what happens when you revenge trade. And the most successful way I've found to avoid it, because it's not possible to stop being human and having emotions, is to have a solid trade plan where you know what it is that you're looking for, the what, when, the why, the how, and if that doesn't fit, because you've run through that with yourself, we do it out loud because we're talking to you, I then don't take the trade. It has to be part of your repertoire. I'll give you guys the update on the lunch. It's good. The chicken's great. It's a thigh, but it's only like one chicken thigh. And then there's like big old pieces of potato, which is fine. It actually tastes pretty good. Unfortunately, there's broccoli in the vegetables, and it's broccoli and Brussels sprouts. There's literally 3 vegetables in the world that I don't eat. Broccoli, Brussels sprouts, and cauliflower. And if you do cauliflower well enough, I'll actually eat it. So it's kind of disappointing there. Fun fact, I'm going to read it because it's in front of me. You can fit every single planet in our solar system into the gap between Earth and the moon. That is a fun fact. An even cooler fact is, if you ever watch the videos where you see the actual perspective of how big the solar system is, mind-boggling. It really puts things into perspective when you see that. The world is the solar system is absolutely gigantic. Let's throw you guys back to the midday. I'm going to finish my lunch. Enjoy, everybody. And yes, I know broccoli has a lot of nutrients. I eat plenty of vegetables. There's so many out there. You don't have to eat the ones you don't like. As long as you eat a bunch of vegetables, you're good to go. I'm just saying.
That you don't like too, right?
Whoa, hold on a second.
Hey, man, you see what I'm getting at here? I get some heat for no pie, but you don't like probably one of the healthiest vegetables on the planet.
You know what, Joe? This is fair. This is fair, and a normal, rational, reasonable person would walk back some of their criticism that you've never tried apple pie, that you don't like cookies and all that stuff. But you know what? When it comes to pastries and when it comes to treats, I'm not a normal, rational person.
That's fair.
So I reserve the right to still absolutely hate on the fact that you won't eat apple pie and that you don't like cookies. So I'm going to stay a hater when it comes to that.
I like oatmeal cookies, brother.
Not with.
Do you eat them with? You eat them with raisins?
If I have to, I would prefer.
Well, then we still got an issue, bro.
All right, we got an issue.
And I love you, brother. But
you know we love you.
See, and this is the thing. I can admit when I'm being irrational about it, and I'm really irrational when it comes to my pastry. So if you're not going to eat a pumpkin pie is delicious, apple pie is delicious, everything out there, and especially oatmeal raisin cookies. They're the.
Pie?
Come on, son.
Fresh
baked?
Like a peach cobbler or something. I think I could get behind that. I love peaches,
like
right?
apple pie.
Nothing like a Georgia peach.
Well, then there you go. We all want to see you enjoy, like, just some kind of, like, pie. Anything. Anything. Just once, live on the show.
You want to know the honest truth? Neil, growing up as a kid, for some reason, like, my grandparents would give me sweets or my aunts would give me sweets, and it would always upset my stomach. So growing up, I was never really, like, a sweet and candy kid until I grew older and, like, into my 20s and stuff like that. I don't know. It just always upset my stomach, so I never ate that stuff.
Well, you know what? That's fair. To each their own. Like whatever you do. So I'll end with this because we should always say this. You always got to do you. At the end of the day, don't worry about what other people like. We joke around about this now, but let's be real. Don't worry about what other people like. And I always bring this right back into trading. I know I say this more than any one thing in trading, and I could say this every single day. As far as I'm concerned, it doesn't matter what you trade. It doesn't matter the style of trade you do.
Yeah.
You can be some people say futures traders or like the pinnacle and penny stock traders or blah, blah, or are not real traders.
Yeah.
Do you get paid?
All that matters at the end of the day.
Richard Pryor said to Eddie Murphy, maybe he did say it, maybe he didn't. It was in Eddie Murphy's act.
Yeah.
He's like, when Bill Cosby would criticize him for cursing his stand-up, Richard Pryor was like, hey, well, when you tell your jokes, do the people laugh? He said, yes. When you tell those jokes and finish the show, do you get paid? He said, yes. And then he said, okay, well then tell that dude to, have a Coke and a smile and shut the you-know-what up.
Ooh.
Because at the end of the day as a trader, that's all that matters. At the end of the day in your life, as long as you're enjoying your life, that's what matters too.
That's all that matters, brother. Hey, Project Hail Mary. Project Hail Mary. Ryan Gosling.
No spoilers.
You saw it?
No spoilers.
Yeah, I've seen it. What do you
No
think?
spoilers.
Have you seen it yet, Neil, or no?
I haven't seen it.
Heard mixed
I've read the book twice.
It was
Okay.
great.
My wife just finished the book recently, so we can go see it now because I'm gonna watch it. She's
Book's
seen
always
it.
better than the movie, though.
Oh, yeah.
The book's always better than the movie. I think the book was way better than The Martian, though. So I'm excited to watch it. I hope it's.
Okay, no, great movie. I can tell you guys how it ends right now if you want.
Well, I've seen it, so I don't care.
Oh,
I'm sorry, I've read the book. I know.
Okay, so you don't need me, because I know
Saying no spoilers.
Ram and Fabian want to know for sure. So I figured I'd.
Don't spoil it.
I'm obviously not. There's nothing I dislike more. My one buddy in my group chat always spoiling something for us, and it's like, man, come on. All right, guys, enough is enough.
Sure.
Let's get. Yeah, I know, Rocky, man, Rocky, my guy. Anyways, aside from that, guys, let's hit this. Where's our boy? Nice little short there on the T-QQs as it heads down into 42.60. We're still hovering around this. I wouldn't be surprised. I don't have much left. I think like 20% of my remaining position, and that's okay. I know I'm not, Derek. So if we get stopped out 20% right here, that's no issue. We take the most of it off. It's just keep getting bought back up. So it's choppy. We get the break through the support level, and then sure enough, we continue a little bit lower and then immediately met with some defense. So there is somewhat of a supply zone right here, and we have to be prepared to get out when we're supposed to. Obi, you were short USO.
I got out for break even. Here's the thing: I was more than 50 pennies in the money on this, and I actually got pretty aggressive adding into this here underneath the 138, and I was like, boom, 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 137 is going to crack. And yeah, it did crack. We went down to, I think, what was that low right there? 136.79s, and I was looking for more, maybe a little bit too greedy, shorting this piece right here, expecting too much, but I got to take that off. But I took a break even on that. My average ended up being like, I think 42s, and I took it off at like 42, 43s, something like that. So I was just like, all right, cool. If it's not going to work, I'm just going to take a break even. I'll get back in if it shows me more. But that 138 level is probably what I'm ultimately risking against here. We'll wait and see if that comes in. But if the market's going to, do a little bit of flush right here after consolidating pretty much for, what is that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, almost 6 candles now, just sideways consolidation here on the 15 minutes, 24 ones to 24 twos roughly, and so about a 100-point consolidation on the NASDAQ. I guess ES looks a little bit more bearish as we're breaking down this consolidation here. A lot of these wicks had higher highs, and then the top wicks were relatively even, coming in and around 66.23s, and now you can see flush, flush, flush. Let's see if this third candle in a row now with, let's see, give me a 15-minute. So this 15-minute just started, right? So with this third one, let's see if we can get that continuation. If the market breaks down as well, maybe we do get that breakout of that 138 here on USO. But where's the next trade? That's what I'm asking right here. Wow, Intel actually got to 50 today and is pulling back nicely off of that $50 level. AMD as well. You know what? AMD might, if someone was calling out AMD a little bit earlier, I might take a look at this one and see what AMD is up to. Why do I need to have a filter on this. Okay, cool. Yeah, AMD, a little bit of a slowdown here at the same time. Maybe this is the one I want to take a reversion on. But again, there's a lot of stocks here that could potentially set up for a bit of a pullback. Wow, Tesla is relatively weak. Have you seen this one?
Yeah,
it is
yeah.
So relatively
deliveries
weak.
came out today,
Sideways
this morning.
chop.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. That's what that catalyst was on Tesla. You can see here, I'll pull up Tesla. Yeah, it does not look anything like the rest of the market. Deliveries, definitely one of the stronger catalysts when it comes to this stock here. You can see a nice little, flag consolidation. I don't really like to say bearish or bullish because that gives me a bit of a bias, but a flag is a flag, and Tesla coming up with a bit of a flag. Now, which way it goes, probably going to be determined by what levels it breaks, right? The range of the flag right here. So the range highs coming in roughly at 370s and the lows at 363s, 364s on Tesla. So if the market breaks down and if it follows in suit, then maybe we do have a breakdown of that 364 area roughly. So be watching that as well. But let me know what you guys are watching. NVIDIA is holding the Qs, saying North Boy. Yeah, maybe. NVIDIA is the one that is it the relative strength right here? Yeah, it is the most extended off of its lows as well. So yeah, I guess NVIDIA is the one. Let's take a quick look at Meta. Yeah, Meta is nowhere close to anywhere there. So you're right. NVIDIA is definitely the one that's holding it up. There goes 138s here on USO. Seems like that was a nice VWAP hold here on USO, so it did not get long on that 137, unfortunately, there. But you know what? I think if we continue to do this and the market takes a little bit of a pullback, we were talking about a 50% retracement of some of these legs here, 24,000, maybe even 23,950s potentially, if we do come into a 50% retracement of this leg that we've had all the way from 23.7s to 24.2s on the NASDAQ. And if that comes in, I think oil definitely poised to push that 140 level. And that 140 level, I think if that breaks, that's definitely pushing some players out there. And that could give us some explosive moves as well on USO. So that's all I'm really watching. CCL, let's see what's happening. What happened with CCL here? I guess that Claude sold some CCL today. I don't know if we've been following that Claude portfolio where they have Claude trading a portfolio of names, and it's buying and selling different things, and people are just following what it's doing.
On Claude, you're making that?
Like it's like an agent that's doing this. I think.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know too much about it, but it's managing a portfolio and it's buying and selling relative to what it thinks. I guess is correct, but yeah, we are going down.
Yeah, we are.
Here's my opinion on MU.
Lower. I tried silver long here. As long as we don't break 64.90s, I'm going to hold on to this position. I'm willing to add at 64.90s. I mean, the market is sliding. Tesla's breaking down as well, too. The NASDAQ putting in a new low. We got out of that one there. Momentum slowly starting to pick up. I'm assuming USO continuing to climb. So if you're looking for the longs, I think that's going to be where the play is on today's session, guys. Heading towards a key pivot level there on USO, 138.19s. I think I'm going to try a long there on this one for the break of that 138.31 level. We'll start small on it.
Yeah, I like that.
So for that break of that level, that's going to be a key pivot. Pullback, we engage a little bit here, and then maybe we can get a continuation of the momentum. If it breaks 37.50, then we might have to get out of the position. So yeah, let's just go. Let's go long some USO here, Obi, and see what we can muster up. Bang, instant. All right, we take that one.
Yeah, the market's pulling in pretty decently now.
Yeah, so silver not working for us. This short was working pretty good for us right here, and then it pulls back just a little too deep, and then now starting to slide. Just hold on to the position, my Lanta. All right, 10 cents on USO there. We'll take it. Not yet, anyways. We'll see if we can continue to climb a little bit here. We'll head over to my kind of thinking in my head here as we're long silver, short USO. Our shorts are long both silver and USO. So we could just keep this on over here. We grabbed 20 cents on USO. If this breaks this level right here, then we'll get out of the position here on SLV. But we're going to hold on to this USO. No reason to get out right now, considering the market is continuing to slide. So not too bad. We almost had there 10 cents. Now it's starting to pull back in a little bit there, Obi. I expect this here, especially in USO. Extremely volatile. Continues to climb. You punch through that. You get a little bit of a pullback there. Did print 41s, though. Ooh, we should have took that. But that's all right. We'll hold on to it. I think we can get a little bit of a bid back up here. Keep an eye on the tape and see what it's going to continuously print there. Bang, back up to 30s just like that.
It's holding that trend. Right. It has like that.
Yeah,
I mean, if you throw up like a eight moving average on a shorter time frame, that's kind of what I'm looking at here. It's been holding that roughly well. Even the 21 is extended above the 21, but you know, I'll go to this chart here. Yeah, it's holding pretty decently as of right now. I think I have the moving average sitting at 138.14s here. So every time it's pulled back into this moving average since about 12:17. So that's about a few minutes ago. It's held quite well on USO. But yeah, no, keeping a pretty close eye on this one. I do want to get involved here. Yeah, I'm not really.
In which direction are you thinking?
I mean, you know, I'm going to be a little bit more short biased than anything, but I even said before, like this, that low, this was capitulation, right? This right here, that was capitulation. So realistically, now we are in an uptrend post capitulation, and it's been doing everything that you pretty much want to see to get long post capitulation, right? Breakout of this consolidation, even holding that 134 quite well, stair stepping up onto 136, then 137's held pretty well, and even here, like when I was in this, and it was. Neil was doing his lesson, the flushes into 136 and change, 136.79s, 137s were pretty aggressive, and it got bought up right away. I'm like, all right, cool, they're absorbing this. That's why I was just like, okay, well, if I see information that it's getting absorbed on top of 137s, then I don't need to hold it to my stop all the way at 138s. I just take the break even, because I'm like, okay, it's very clear right now that even though it's getting slammed into the bid, buyers are willing to step up and just soak it all up and rip it right back up. So when I saw some of that absorption, I was like, all right, cool, take the break even. This is definitely, as of right now, with the limited information that I'm seeing, not headed in that direction at all. So that came out to be true, and we're continuing to push a little bit higher here. So yeah, every little pullback getting bought up on USO. We'll wait and see if it actually gets to that 40 level. I think the likelihood of us testing that 40 pretty decent if the market continues to pull back the way it is, slow and steady right here. But that bid definitely wasn't slow and steady. So the reversion of that bid from the morning session coming in now during the midday.
Volatility's in. I'm just looking at some of the supply here. 140. It's nothing substantial, but we keep running into this 138 level. I don't see anything really there. It's just not being absorbed. We did pop up into 35s there. I'm thinking if I can get an additional pop. It's pretty volatile right now. Market pretty choppy. I'll hold on to it for as long as we can. But another pop, just not continuing to climb. You break through that previous pivot, and it's just like, come on, let's go. Let's rock and roll here and see if we can get this trade working out for us. Another pop there. Let's keep an eye on the tape. We're back at that. See, yeah, someone keeps selling here at 17s.
Yeah, I'm watching that pretty closely.
Watching that, yeah. Someone keeps selling 17s.
There is definitely a little bit of. I mean, this is where it was sold off prior, right? It got up to 138.30s, like you said, and then we sold all the way back down for about $1.30 from the same area. So yeah, it might take a little bit if we are going to continue pushing. It might take a little bit to kind of lift some of that selling if it's still sitting there from before. But you can see here, still holding trend pretty well there, Joe. You can see just a quick little trend line, and maybe I'm waiting for the break of said trend line, or maybe even a retest from the bottom to get involved. I think the long definitely was on the VWAP hold and much before as well, but unfortunately not really involved in that. AMD does look like it wants to curl over here, but I'm going to be a little bit more patient. Someone was asking me earlier about Micron, and I was like, yeah, I really like, I looked at it. I like that Micron for a bit of a short scalp, but the thing is, look at how messy some of this action is, right? It's so choppy. We've been in this range from, say, about 360s to the highs, 365.80s, since 10:30. So been in there for roughly about an hour or two, coming into 2 hours there. And yeah, the breakdown of the 360 was quite nice. That's working out decently. Maybe we get a pullback into VWAP, which is starting to confluence with this prior low at 356s. So yeah, I'll keep an eye on that. Decent volume bar as well on the push of this prior high. So we've already gotten below the low of that candle with the high volume bar. So I do like that. That's sitting right at 360s as well. And with the market pulling back with the way it is, that could very well be something at the same time. So yeah, no, shout out to whoever called out that Micron, but it's not going to be like the short that I took yesterday, right? Yesterday, look how much cleaner the bid was. It was very consistent and clean relative to today's bid. Very choppy. Some of these legs and candles have quite a range, and there's also a lot of inside bars at the same time. So don't really want to be aggressively involved with any of that. I'd like to look for things that are like, you know, the trend is very distinct, and then it starts to act differently. If there's a lot of sideways chop, if there's a lot of inside bars, sure, there can be a reversion there. I do sometimes take those as well, but I noticed over time that I have to be a lot more focused on some more nuances on some of those reversions when it comes to that playbook.
Fair enough, fair enough. All right, yeah, it's not breaking through that level. It's going to be the deepest pullback here. I'm going to hold on to this. I mean, we added into a full position now, and there it goes. It's really starting to come back in as the market's taking a little bit of a pop. I think this just might be a little bit of a fake out, to be honest with you. So we'll continuously hold on to it. Put a little bit more on over there. Don't typically do that, but just considering it's just a liquidity grab through a support level. It popped up. Let's see if we can get this pop up here now. OB, it's 97s. Boom, boom, we're printing. Oh, it comes right back down into 90s. That's not too good of a look there. As we hold on to our silver position, let's see if we can get this continuation here in USO. Oh my God. Aggressive move to the downside.
A break of that trend as well that I just pointed out, right?
Yeah, it did. It did break that trend.
See if it kind of continues.
See if we get buyers step back.
You see these swipes, they're swiping it right back up, right?
Yeah, exactly. They're buying it right back up. So let's see if we can get a little bit of a pop here now, guys, in USO. We're still in silver. Market climbing a little bit higher. So you're that inverse correlation coming into play a little bit here between USO and SLV. I mean, there it is. Boom, some strength in the tape. That's exactly what we want to see. A clean push up there, guys. So not too bad. Silver, we're still around that break-even mark on that one. So we'll be cautious on this. Considering the trajectory that USO has been on, I think we just have to go with the flow and just try to put ourselves in at the right place at the right time. If this closes as a 1-minute hammer, I like our chances even more for it to continue to bounce. So we'll keep our eyes on it. We'll continuously monitor what we got going on here on USO, and hopefully we can find a nice bounce and a place to take some profits out at the break of this previous pivot. So silver still doing the exact same thing. Let's pull this up here for you guys. Yeah, see, I mean, we're not too far away, and we only went half risk on this one. So let's see if we can get that pop up here in silver, Obi.
Yeah, so I did kind of participate in the breakdown of that 138 there. I drew the trend line right here. Could have definitely been a little bit earlier, but yeah, selling starting to step in just slightly. But again, every dip has been bought up, right? So I think depending on how you're looking at this and how you're sized, either way it's up in the air, whichever way it can go right now. But we'll see. We'll wait and see what it does with this 138 area. As I said before, this was a little bit of supply zone earlier. See if it continues to stay the same. If not, then more than willing to kind of get hit out of this one and move on to the next push as well. But looking at some of these, the 15-minute chart just started as well, right? So at the beginning of a 15-minute chart, or I like to watch candle formations as well sometimes, where, you know, how have the 15 minutes and the 5 minutes and everything else, how have they been forming, and when we start and end a candle, what kind of action are we more poised to do, right? So watching this one, we've had back-to-back green candles on USO. So if we do make a bottom wick, this could be that bottom wick on the 15-minute candle here as we pull back into 138 and then maybe push right back through as well. But I'll be watching this pretty closely. Market is pulling back a little bit here, so do have to be wary about that. And the market did get aggressively bid, so I think the reversion on the market is definitely a lot more valid in my opinion. So I am kind of going against that a little bit here, getting involved with the USO the way I am as of right now. But let me know what you guys are looking at. Yeah, Tesla's definitely ugly. Charlie Taff in the chat there. Just straight chop. Just they had deliveries today. I guess market didn't really like what happened there. We gapped down or were sold off aggressively, and it's not looking anything like the rest of the market here, where you had this aggressive bid. Like, talk about a crazy bid. 23 sevens all the way to 24 twos on the Nasdaq. That's pretty aggressive, right? And to do that within 4 15-minute bars, that's definitely something, right? So the fact that Tesla does not care about that at all, and it's just in a sideways consolidation, says everything you need to know about what may or may not be going on there. Maybe it's just digesting some of that news as well, right? So The INTU HRB competition from Perplexity, because Perplexity Computer can now help prepare your federal tax return. That's interesting. Okay, so here we go. A little bit of selling coming in, some more aggressive selling coming in. Let's see if we can break through that 137. So talk about a nice trend break. VWAP sitting all the way down here at 136.7s. I don't know if we're going to get all the way down to VWAP, but we're catching a bit of a bid here on the rest of the market. So let's see how that potentially comes in. And I guess 200 moving average, where is that sitting at? I guess sometimes when I'm thinking too much about some of the price action, I start using way too many indicators, just because I have them on the board. Like I like to use my 8 moving average, my 21s, my 50s, and my 200s. And yeah, sometimes they hold. And the only thing is, like, if they're holding, then I give them more precedent. If they're not holding, then I really don't care about them. I'm just going to let the market tell me what it's respecting, and then see if I can kind of, we talk about like listening, right? Listening to what the chart and the price action is telling you. If it's holding a moving average, then it's holding a moving average, right? If it's breaking a trend, it's breaking a trend. If it's been holding the trend, like here, it's been holding since what? This was about 12 o'clock all the way to 12:30. We've been holding for 30 minutes straight into an area of supply, and then all of a sudden supply comes in. Yeah, I just have to kind of do a little bit better at listening to what the chart and the price action is telling me. So a little bit of covers there just on top of VWAP. Let's see if we can actually get to VWAP. If the market starts to catch a stronger bid, then maybe we do get to those 137s. But here's another thing, more pieces of information. The past 2 times we've been on top of 137, we have caught a pretty decent bid. So I do want to respect that as well. If that 137 breaks down now, then that information becomes slightly less, less valid, right? More, it invalidates the thesis that, okay, cool, 137 was holding as support in the most recent price action. You can see here the reclaim of 37 pulls back into 37. Boom! I really did like this short. I got really aggressive on this short here, 138s down to 137s, but it held 137s. Right? So if we're going to continue in an uptrend and we're going to continue to kind of consolidate, stair step higher, consolidate, then 137 I expect it to hold, but let's see what happens here with the market bidding up. This is kind of distinctly different from the last 3 15-minute candles that were printed, but this is only 5 minutes into this 15-minute candle, right? And this is what I'm looking at on USO as well. Look at this 15-minute candle. This is the first red one, but this could swipe right back up. Take a look at this bottom wick that happened on the 12 o'clock candle, right? So that could potentially be some information at the same time. If this 137, well, you know what? I'm thinking about maybe adding to this, but that could be a little bit cheeky, maybe adding to it if it gets below VWAP. Again, market has to bid up, right? Market has to catch a bit of a bid there for all that to come into fruition, because we are observing today that the hedge is back on. When the market bids up, oil comes down. When the market, I guess, drops a little bit lower, the market, oil starts to bid up as well. So that relationship is back on. And we saw a bit of a disconnect for a few days where that wasn't necessarily the case for a little bit. So we'll wait and see what happens here on this USO move. A little bit of relief here for the market, I guess.
Yeah, not good. Yeah, bad trade there on USO on my behalf. Should just hopped out of that trade there. So that's probably going to be it. No bounce. Thought we'd get a nice break on this level here, but that wasn't necessarily the case. So yeah, not a good trade there on the USO by me. That's all right. We'll see if we can hold on to it a little bit more. Nice pop up there. All right, let's go. Come on. I know we're going. I hate that. Like, this is what I don't like, though, is that we're both kind of going against each other. I mean,
I'm not going against anything. I'm just trying to. I drew the trend line.
We're going off. I was like, I'm long, you're short.
Yeah,
I'm not saying we're like doing that intentionally. We both have opposite trades on, essentially, right? So, yeah, let's go, man. You had it anyways. You have the successful short going on, which is positive. So that's what we want to see. A nice pop. It bounced off of VWAP, which is pretty good. But you're right, Obi. It broke. The
137 is still holding, right?
It's still holding. Like let's see if we can get a.
That's the thing. I've covered more than half already on top of this 137, and if it can break down, then yeah, that's going to be a different piece of information there.
For sure.
It's going to be distinctly different then. But right now, it is kind of bouncing. You can see top wick forming on the 15-minute candle on the Nasdaq and the ES as well. So if that candle goes green to red, then we're just back in, and that 137 has a higher probability of holding, in my opinion. So and it's already holding as of right now. So we'll wait and see.
There is a base being formed there, bounced off it, but then it just kind of ran into the backside of this trend and then rejected that one. So let's see if we can get a little bit better of a bounce here. It did tank, man. Got to get out of that trade way quicker than what I did. So I should have just accepted it. So USO, haven't been trading it well as of late, and sure enough, play the break of this pivot. You get a nice little pop-up. Should have took the scalp. Should have, could have, would have. That's what if history. Silver working out for us here. So let's see if we do give back the majority of the day, which is going to be unfortunate, as I have to take a stop out momentarily here on USO, and I'll just get out of silver as well. So yeah, it's breaking down. Market really heading lower back in though. We never got that sustained pop, Obi, in USO. So that inverse not really working out how you would think.
No, it's not the same.
It's not the same as what we were seeing a couple of weeks ago. That's for sure. Market heading lower. USO doing the exact same thing too. So just be cautious on that one. Don't make those mistakes, and just get out when you're supposed to, essentially. So. Yeah, a bit tougher of a trade there on USO by my half. Yeah, here I thought we would get the continuation up in here, considering, but not necessarily the case there, guys. So yeah, bad trade. We don't like that one, but oh well. You learn from the mistakes and you move on. You look for the next opportunity if there is one going to step in here momentarily. It keeps hitting the ask. I mean. Not horrible whatsoever. Okay, there's another pop, right? So they're going to pop up into 26s. The options chain's not telling us really much, but I don't know how much of an effect that's really going to have. We talked about this on multiple occasions, just the fact that it's like, hey, essentially, with being extremely newsline sensitive, and I think a bigger picture than what we have going on from a liquidity standpoint with the options chain, I just don't I don't think it plays much of a factor in what actually happens here. So
it'll go more off the futures, right? Because I think those are weighted a little bit more.
Exactly. So yeah, let's see, man. If we don't get a sustained pop here, then we'll probably have to get out of this trade.
Yeah, I'm just waiting and watching. I added a little bit there, but nothing too crazy. Not back to full size that I was in, but we're consolidating on top of the 137. If we hold and push the half, then yeah, I'm more than willing to hop out of this one and move on to the next trade. But yeah, that Nasdaq candle going green to red, and then green again. Yeah, a little bit of a chop happening here. Wow, there's a bit of a bid on the market. There we go.
Whoa.
Holy, here we go. There's a little bit of selling happening here. Hello, wow. And then we pop down. Wow, that's an aggressive low there.
Yeah, big
low
time.
of 136.69. That's crazy, dude. And then it gets bought right back up.
Immediately.
It gets bought right back up. That's so crazy. Come on. Trump just talking right now, saying there is nothing left of what could still become a great country. That's what Trump just said right now. So yeah, I guess that was a little bit of volatility spike there on his words. As he's, what is he saying? Biggest bridge. Time for Iran to make a deal before it's too late, and there's nothing left of what still could become a great country. That's what he's saying right now.
Yeah.
So, getting a little bit of, probably going to get a little bit of
there's
a pop in oil.
There's the pop in USO. Crazy.
Watching some of this crazy action.
Watch the tape. It just pops up 50 cents just like that there, guys. 52 now on it. All right, nice little move right there. I know silver was working out for us a little bit there. Not too bad of a pop higher. Donald Trump brings some volatility into the market. Wow, what a big time move right there, folks. I might even just hop out on this pop, considering my positioning is not that well, and it's giving me an opportunity to get out here. I might just do so, to be honest with you. Let's see, if we drop back down a little bit, then maybe there's no reason for me to get out just yet. I have to be cautious on what's going on. But yeah, Donald Trump bringing us something. Trump threatens further destruction, urges deal. Trump claimed major Iranian bridge has been destroyed and warned that more strikes are coming. He urged Iran to make a deal quickly. Why would you? Anyway, signaling that further escalation could leave the country severely damaged. Yeah, I mean, I think that's going to be the case. I think everybody's aware of that. Considering, right? Like he was prepared last night. Throughout the week, he's been talking about, hey, we're going to get out of here in the next couple of weeks. It's going to be over regardless of a deal's done. Then he says that it's going to be on a lot longer than what we're anticipating. So, I mean, a complete mixed bag when it comes to what he is saying about it. Trump is, it's time for Iran to make a deal before it's too late. So there's another warning sign. Market continuously, it's not doing anything, but USO right back up to the top side there. Yeah, OB on the opposite side of the trend.
137's held, yeah.
Pardon me?
Even through that craziness, 137's got bought right back up.
Yeah, exactly. So let's see if it's going to continue on this path. The bid continuously lifting up there down to 160, now to 137.68, 70s now it's printing. So, I mean, not horrible whatsoever. Considering, let me do this here. Okay, that's not too bad. Oh, another big spike right there, Obi. I mean, don't do what I did there, Obi. Get out if you have the ability to do so. That's for sure.
Yeah, no. Like I said, I'm not in the same size I was in at 138s. I did add at the lows there, but it's still kind of chopping around here. So I'm going to be a little bit patient here. But the information that I was given
I reduced my size on that one, so I'll still hold on just in case it wants to continue to grind higher here. But I'm also prepared to get out when I need to. Silver working out pretty good for us. So there's a clean flush to the downside. That's good for you. Let's get out of this. Let's get out of this USO. Too volatile, all right? We got silver working for us. Let's head over to that one. We're gonna put USO to the back burner and just go stick to things that really rock and roll for us. And that's gonna be silver right now. Oh boy, do we wish we had some more size on this silver trade here, Obi, as that USO trade didn't work how we wanted it to. I'm not going to piece anything out here on silver just yet. We're going to allow it to continue to climb. Load up oil, IM from me. War is not stopping. ME. Oh, okay. I guess that's somewhere over there. I don't know where you're referring to. But yeah, I mean, I don't think it's going to cool down anytime soon. Silver working out for us. USO, we'll put that wood to the burner. It may continue to move to the top side, to be honest with you. So we'll keep an eye on it. But I think that's it for attempts on that one for me, Obi.
Yeah, so what I was saying before is that the piece of information we were given on that price action was that, yeah, it slapped down into VWAP. It slapped down to 136.69s there on that flush down, and then it got bought right back up. So I guess, that tells me right away that, okay, when we were here before, I observed a little bit of absorption on strong flushes down, and then right here on a catalyst, there's some strong absorption once again in and around that level. So definitely a level of interest at the very least is how I'm interpreting that. We'll wait and see. It's still kind of not really, it's still chopping around the same range it was doing a few minutes ago and still underneath that 138. So I'll be patient. I guess he's still talking, saying things. Trump threatens further destruction. I think you talked about that, about the bridge there. So we'll wait and see what I can do with this here. Only dancing around about 20, 30 pennies roughly. So nothing too crazy as of right now, but the second, I mean, you see the markets are bidding up decently here as well. Second green candle after 3 consecutive reds on both. I guess 4 consecutive reds on the ES. One of those was a doji though, so don't know how much you want to weigh that one. But second green 15-minute candle happening after 3 consecutive decent red candles on both the ES and the Nasdaq. 137's coming back in. Are you going to break it? Was that just a ping? If we break that ping low at 136.69s, then that's definitely something as well. Because again, you had aggressive buying that bid it right back up off of VWAP, and if that cracks, that technically, in my opinion, is a support breakdown through 137s and then even further. So we'll wait and see if that comes into fruition here. 137s retesting as the market attempts to take a little bit of a bid, but chopping around. 50 pennies to $1 on USO, man, is not, you can see in terms of the volatility, it'll eat that up within seconds, especially if it's some sort of a catalyst. Like yesterday, there was just, I think there was a strong sell near the end of the day. I was trying to look for news, and I was like, yeah, no, there's no real news on it. So sometimes all it takes is just one trader being like, all right, I'm just going to punch out of this position, or I'm going to act a certain way on a certain catalyst. And yeah, of course, depending on how much liquidity that participant is pushing, it can definitely push the market around, and the market can be like, all right, cool, we're just gonna, that was just one guy, or we can correct that right away. Or maybe sometimes that one guy or trader can just start a chain reaction of events as well. That's always fun to observe at the same time. So maybe one day that's the goal. You're the guy who starts the chain reaction. I think that's definitely it's up there with the goal of Spoofy Man for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, big time, man. I'm glad. I sent you a DM there. Crazy. On Discord. I mean, let's go silver, man. Let's get this thing to work. But we took that ugly hit. I'm glad that we got out of USO. Let's find some other quality things to look at. What has Tesla been up to? Did it decide to break? Did it break up there? Yeah, it did off of that bounce and off of that indecision print. So Tesla worked pretty good there. Let's see if we can break this previous pivot high of 65.60 here on silver, and then we're going to look to piece out half of the position. We'll leave a little bit for a runner, as USO doesn't really know what it wants to do at this point. Lots of indecision prints. Gaurav, this is what. Okay, cool. So yeah, there it is. SLV, guys. Nice bounce, double bottom right there. We go long, looking for the break of this pivot. Tesla starting to come back in a little bit. But guys, guess what? We have a special guest, Brendo, at the big desk, guys, leading an interview. We'll be back momentarily.
All right, thanks, guys. We're talking gold this lunch hour. We've seen quite the rebound here today, not only in the metals side of things, but individual gold names back to the upside today as well. On the risk-on side of things, we're happy to have Trey Wasser, CEO and Director of Dryden Gold, with us this afternoon to tell us a little bit about Dryden specifically. But Trey, good to see you. Welcome to the show. It's been quite a year, let's be honest, but I mean, here we go back into the volatile stuff again. Let's start high level here. If anyone's hearing this name for the first time, DRY on the TSX Venture Exchange. Tell us a little bit about the company first off, Dryden Gold.
Well, Dryden Gold is we have a district scale property in Northwest Ontario. Most of the property is very high grade, although it is a district, so we have some other exciting things going on that are more bulk tonnage targets. But I was drawn to this property because of the incredible infrastructure. It sits right on the Trans-Canada Highway and has highway frontage from north to south. Very large, over 80,000 hectares we're up to now. And so it's just a very unusual property because it's very underexplored, has had some historic mining back in the early 1900s, but very little modern exploration on it. Yet the infrastructure is incredible. We're not helicopter logging mining, and so it's we think we're really onto something here.
District scale, that term district scale, maybe someone's hearing that for the first time or not really familiar with that. The company's described this property specifically as that district scale opportunity. Tell us a little bit about what that means right now and why that area specifically is getting all the attention.
Well, when you talk about district scale property, you typically have it would be very large and also would cover maybe several types of gold mineralization. So that's what we have here. We have our key and load gold system, similar to the Red Lake and Great Bear, but we also have lower grade bulk tonnage kind of targets as well. So kind of like a whole camp. I mean, if you think about Timmins, for example, you might go 10 miles from mine to mine, and they're in completely different rock types. So that's what we've got really in this Dryden district. And the only real, there is one other company that's more advanced than us, and that's Next Gold, and they have about a 3 million ounce deposit that they're working through permitting. So we think this is one of the next new gold camps in Northwest Ontario.
If we look at the results to date, What has happened? What has been the successes? Tell us a little bit about how things are going with the drilling results.
Well, our flagship property, we call it, where we're doing the bulk of our drilling and where most of the historic mining and historic exploration was done, is what we call Gold Rock. And where we're working, we have about 20 kilometers of strike in this Gold Rock camp, and we're working specifically in 1 square kilometer area. And there we're seeing very high grades. I mean, there's a previous operator drilled as high as 53,000 grams per ton. And while we haven't hit anything quite that high, we're seeing a lot of things in the 200-300 gram per ton type of intercepts. And we just put out some results this morning. We found 3 new high grade zones that we had targeted, using 3D. All of our data being digitized now, and we're using 3D modeling to make these targets. And we had like 32 and a half grams over 4 meters. That had an interval of about a half a meter of 252 grams per ton. So very high grade gold there. And then the other exciting project that we have is over to the east. It's Hinman. It's very large. It's more of a bulk tonnage target, but we've got 15 kilometers of strike there that we just had results a few weeks ago from our property-wide golden till substrate sampling. And that shows pretty high-grade gold across all 15 kilometers. So we're very excited about Hinman as well.
You mentioned the importance of infrastructure to start things off, the location of the property being close to the Trans-Canada Highway. Talk a little bit about the importance of why, just from maybe a cost measure or accessibility, as you said. The Ontario government specifically has been really pushing towards making this a wider scale and more accessible area. So being there early as you are, definitely good for the company. Tell us why.
Well, really 2 reasons, and you hit on it there. The accessibility, it gives us, so we can, on all 80,000 hectares, and that runs about 50 kilometers from the south to the north, and then in about another 40 kilometers to the east. And we can be across that property all on highway within a couple of hours. So it gives us very good access. We have, probably the lowest drilling costs in the industry. We can drill there year round. It gets quite cold in the wintertime there, but that doesn't bother the drillers. But there's one really key reason why this infrastructure is important. And you talk about the Trans-Canada Highway. It's not just near us. It runs right through our property. And then Highway 502, which drops down to the Minnesota border. We're actually only about an hour north of the Minnesota border. And I mentioned that, it's been very underexplored. And the reason is that most of this property there has historically been very, very dense Canadian bush. I mean, like, you can't walk through it kind of bush. And yet for the last 40 years, there's been a pulp mill in the town of Dryden. And so consequently, our property has seen more than its share of logging and again, because they have the highway access to get those trees right to the pulp mill. And the interesting or nice thing for us also about a pulp mill is they don't care if the tree is 3 inches or 3 feet. They're not trying to make lumber out of it. They're just grinding it all up. So they take everything and they just clear cut. So an area like Hinman that I mentioned, the Trans-Canada Highway runs through the southern part of that. It's never been owned by anyone. Any company. It's had historically 0 exploration, maybe a prospect or 2, through the history books. That's how it got its name Hinman, is because some guy named Hinman found a gold showing there. But now they've put in very nice logging roads. You can drive a Toyota Camry in there to where we're drilling. We made a discovery there right off the logging road. We saw where they had cleared off and uncovered granodiorite stockwork And we went out, took a sample, and had an ounce of gold in it. We channel sampled it. It had about 3/4 of an ounce across the channel. So we're drilling that now. But again, up and down our property, it's the same story. It's just never had much exploration because it just was inaccessible.
Going ahead here, or looking ahead, as we round out the year, or maybe heading into the second half of the year here, is there a couple of milestones we can leave investors with? What do you want people to know or take away from this going into not only the rest of 26 but 27?
Well, look, our property and again, our board is pretty much made up of people like myself who've had success starting a junior mining company. In my case, it was Ely Gold Royalties. But everybody on the board has started these companies, built them up, and then created shareholder value by selling them. And that's what we're really tailoring this property to. It's big. It's, we don't want to spend the next 10 years there diluting shareholders. We just want to show that we've got a big property with several different targets, and then be moving this on to a larger company. So we currently have 2 strategic shareholders. Alamos Gold and Centerra Gold are both plus or minus 10% shareholders and watching it very closely, as is, we're kind of, we meet pretty regularly with a half a dozen other majors and mid-tier companies. So this property is getting a lot of attention. I think this year we're fully funded for about a $7 million exploration program. And for us, that gets a lot of drilling in. And what we hope to do is just continue to prove this up and really operating kind of under the Great Bear model, which, they explored from the time they made their discovery. They drilled for about 2 years and sold for $1.6 billion without ever publishing a resource. Now, they got, I'd be happy with, maybe a fourth of that, maybe a third. I'd be happy. I'd be real happy with a third. Yeah. But that's kind of our goal here. So, I think investors can watch us, see the results like we put out today, see that we're really learning how to identify where the high grade gold is and where it's going, and how to pull a bigger Hinman style lower grade project together to entice a strategic partner to take us out at a big premium.
Great stuff. We'll wrap it up at that. DRYGF for our friends south of the border on the OTC markets, DRY on the Venture Exchange here in Toronto. Trey Wasser, CEO and director of Dryden Gold. I mean, it's a fascinating time for this market in general. So best of luck.
It is in general, and tell your traders that the taco trade, being a MAGA Republican Texan, I can tell them that for me, the taco trade is Trump always creates opportunity.
There you go. You just told them. You just told them right now. Trey, thanks for this. We appreciate your time.
All right. Thanks.
That's absolutely beautiful, man. Absolutely, I love that. I haven't heard that before, and I was
a
like,
good one.
Taco trade is definitely, and he's 100% right. There's so much opportunity, especially when Trump has been in office. So
whether you like
I'm all
it or
about that.
Whether you like it or not, I mean, look what happened to this market. It can drive you through the wall, or it can put some money in your pocket. Regardless, this dude has brought volatility time and time again throughout the past year or so. So yeah, I mean, there it is. Beautiful. Trump always creates opportunity.
Yes.
I mean, there it is. Silver working out for us. We took too big of a hit there on USO. Not happy about myself. Could back the profit and then go slightly negative. It is what it is. I was thinking about the short on IBIT, but I was waiting for the pullback. It didn't come into play. And then sure enough, it decided to tank. I was waiting for it off of this indecision print at the highs. Up here As soon as we get this chart to load, this print right here, I'm like, all right, let's wait for this pullback here. And now it just dropped. So that hasn't been too bad of a look there on IBIT. But silver is something that we're going to continue to hold on to. And maybe we can climb up to $66 here as Bitcoin is continuing to slide. Weak asset, definitely a good idea to go with the short there. I think we'll avoid it on the TQs for now and see if we can just stick to the silver trade. How did that USO work out for you? OB, you're out of it.
Yeah, I'm out of it now. So again, we were talking about this. I kind of drew out that trend line on the break of that trend. I was like, okay, and I did show you guys this chart here. I'll bring it back in. You know, whatever time frame you wanna take a look at this on. I like to take a look at, you know, sometimes the 3 minute, the 1 minute. Sometimes I'll go even lower as well to kind of look at some of the nitty gritty in terms of where price really tested. And I do like some of the shorter time frame charts every now and then, but you can see here, this is what I measured out, right? 137.90s was in and around the area of the opening range low, and then opening range highs or session highs, opening session highs, the first few minutes of the open, whatever you want to call it. Sure, one can argue that the opening range high is here at 139.30s as well. That's great. I like that as well. But you can see here supply kind of coming in and around that 140. And the 140 action to me was a little bit more significant than the opening range high here as well. So that's why I marked that out. Anyways, so this comes in, it pings down. This was the ping that I was talking about right here. It pings down into this prior level, which we reclaimed, that 136.50s. And we come back down to here. So I got pretty aggressive on that push. If you guys look at my chart here, this is just a 1 minute chart, but you can see short here, cover a little bit into 137s because it was holding before, add a little bit here, don't cover the whole position. My average still in and around, you know, I forget what it was. I think it was like 60s, 70s, something like that. I only covered about half here and then covered half of that. Sorry, added half of that and then got aggressive here, 137.40s. And then as it pulled back into this 136, wow, oh boy, it seems like we're kind of going now. Okay, there's definitely something coming in. It seems like that short is coming on as of right now as we speak. So maybe this level getting broken once again. But I'll wait for that 136.50s. But wow, what a slam down from 137.80. So same place that sellers showed up just a few minutes ago at 1240. Sellers slam it right back in right here. But you can see I was slamming it right in at 137s as we broke down. I was like, that ping low is at 136.69s. And as we got there, we actually got a little bit below there with a low of 55s. I got really aggressive, but then it just started to stall. I'm like, okay, well, that's definitely not what I want to see. And guess what? It starts to stall exactly at the spot where I marked that prior support or resistance level. So if that's a piece of information that, you know, that's definitely a piece of information that I want to weigh, and I just covered everything there, and you can see what happens there. Right off of that, it bids up over $1 back into 137.80s, but it seems like we're just kind of looking a little distinctly different as the market is starting to hold this 24-100 right now and this flush down on oil. Let's see, what's any sort of news? I guess Attorney General Pam Bondi was ousted. Trump tells Fox News. Yeah, I guess that was we already kind of knew that a few minutes ago. So Trump removes Pam Bondi as U.S. Attorney General. And that's happening as of right now. But
every time I run X on this,
what's that? X doesn't run
on this one. No, it freezes me every time. I can only be on it for like a couple minutes.
No, I have a very curated X specifically. I only follow like very few accounts. Yeah, of course. I follow Walter Bloomberg. For sure, but I follow very few accounts because this is, I guess you want to call it it's my personal account, but I only follow like news for the most part, and some analysts as well as some traders at the same time. But yeah, no, I have it on a refresher, so every time something does show up, I have it open right away, so I can get the news. But yeah, no, very limited to the people that I follow because I just want to know what the news right now is. And yeah, that especially if you're trading off of news and if a part of your playbook is news trading, then having a good source of news is definitely one to have. And again, if you don't have X or anything like that, you know, there's I guess you can always get Bloomberg Terminal, which that's also kind of not really.
That thing run you?
I think that's about like, you know, a cool 20 to 30 G's a year, something like that. So you know. Or you could tune into Trader TV Live, you know, and we usually bring the news extremely fast, sometimes even faster than some of those news sources on X. Wow, there goes the bid, 136.60. So here we go, coming in, testing that level once again. Let's see if that holds as support on that another ping down. So it seems like things are changing, right? We had that slow, steady grind, and then we started getting aggressive selling off of 138s. And again, aggressive selling off of 137s. I don't know if there's any sort of news right now. I'm not really seeing anything, but aggressive selling nonetheless. So it seems like it has changed the tune of how this price action is occurring. And you can see the market as well starting to consolidate, starting to hold that 24,100. So since we talked about that potential correlation or the inverse correlation between oil and the markets showing back up in a different way today, we might be able to see some more of that.
Here's the truth post, OB.
Yeah.
Mr. Trump himself, the biggest bridge in Iran comes tumbling down, never to be used again. Much more to follow, hence why we've seen that volatility spike not too long ago. It is time for Iran to make a deal, caps, before it is too late and there is nothing left of what still could be a great country.
Yeah, that was the news at 12:30ish.
Yeah.
What's the timestamp on that?
Yeah, that was
around
that
12:30.
Yeah, 12:40 there.
Yeah.
So about 20 minutes ago, that's where you've seen that additional pop. Again, just be prepared, essentially, for the volatility to continuously step in. Like, we can go through a quick trade review. It was a really, really bad mistake on my behalf. TQs, we took a couple of trades on that. We'll start from top to bottom here and just go through. Essentially what we had got up to here today and see what, come on now, you can load, you can do it. There you go, bang. Nice little scalp there to the downside in the NASDAQ. Comes right back up. I wouldn't be surprised if we curl over here now, but we started a little bit slow on that one. Then we had this banger on TSLL. Right, this was definitely our best trade of the day. We try again. We get a paper cut on that one. Small potatoes, only at 25% of what I had, or 10% of what I had on this trade, on this second position there. But that was definitely the stronger one. And then the big mistake for us here today was this. But I'm glad that we got out. Right, we just sized too heavy. We were fortunate enough to get out, man. It was only a matter of seconds until I would have had to get all out of this position, and then it would not have been good whatsoever. So bang, a nice little pop-up gets us out, gives us a break home free, and then we've yet to recover from that, and then it's silver. It's unfortunate that we didn't have as much size on this trade as we did in the USO trade, because it's just continuously grinding higher. I only have 20% left of this position, and we'll see if it can continue to just rip higher. I think we can run into 66. That'll be my final target. Took off half right here, which, I mean, it is what it is, and then we took off another 20% right here, and then we'll leave the rest for a runner up into 66, which I think we can head into here momentarily, Obi, if it continues on this path.
Yeah, no, one of the viewers in the chat showing or mentioning this terminal for news here, so that's interesting. I'll take a look at it. Thank you very much. I think it was Cool Brioche. Thank you very much for that piece of information. I'll definitely check it out. It seems like here, what is it? It does seem like there is a yearly subscription starting at $1,000 a year. Not bad. That's not bad at all. You know, comparatively, something like a Bloomberg terminal, which is 30 times that at least. Yeah. Definitely a good option there, so thank you. AGPU, Taylor Abdi. I knew a guy named Abdi. Let's take a look at AGPU here. Yeah, that's a lot of volume there. Nice little volume spike on AGPU. Relative volume not really showing too much. Why? That's probably because we were doing a lot of volume yesterday, right? Yeah, look at that. That's why. That's the thing with our vol indicators. If you have day one doing like 2,000 times relative volume, and mine's a 5 period. Today it's only doing like 1 times or even less than 1 times because the prior day relative volume skews that metric significantly. Especially like, look, you're doing 2,000 on average. Today, you're doing absolutely nothing compared to yesterday's volume. So lower volume bid happening here on a GPU. Now, it is a long weekend. Don't forget that. So some of these small caps, I do like the idea of a squeeze, a pre-weekend squeeze going into a long weekend. That's always kind of been a thing. I remember I unsuccessfully, but when I was trading from home, I did partake in a lot of small caps, and now I definitely didn't know a lot about them relative to what I know now. We talked to Luis yesterday. He was talking about how small caps have on average, I guess they have a 70% chance of fading on day one. But I think the stats for going into a long weekend are distinctly different, and I think you guys should definitely check some of those stats out for sure. But yeah, long weekend squeeze or a long weekend long, whatever you want to call it, may be in play here. Let's take a look at some of the other ones. What was that? CYCN. Let's see what our friend CYCN is up to today. Just a sideways chop. This was aggressive after hours as well. Definitely somebody punching out of this one. Strong spike into 825 for a nice little flush back down. I wonder if you can, there are people who, can definitely make some of these moves happen or tailor some of these moves as well. I wonder if you tailor a move like that, is there enough liquidity, or is there 2, 3, 4 times the liquidity on the other side to kind of be like, okay, I'm willing to take a hit on some of this and then slap it right back down for the push in. I haven't really ever moved that kind of size to test that theory out, but it's always something that I think about. Some of these moves on small caps are definitely tailored by some of the participants that are involved for sure. But yeah, let me know, what was that other one? They were talking about VSW or something? VSU? Was it VSU? No, it wasn't VSU.
What are you looking for?
That stock that people were talking about earlier. Let's see. Brioche saying that's Shkreli's better version of Bloomberg Terminal, very decent. Okay, yeah, definitely. I'm gonna take a look at that a little bit closer. Talk to my buddies about it as well. VSA, I think. Thank you very much. Vision Sys AI. Yeah, so sub dollar stock. Wow, look at the high right there. The high of, oh boy, are we coming down to 136s? Yeah, we are. Oh my God, I had to hold on to that short. It's coming in quite nicely. But yeah, take a look at the high here. 99s, clean on the high on Vision Sys, VSA. Nice little pullback all the way down to 69s and some change on the pennies here on VSA. Doing, I guess, 3 times relative volume. So good stuff there. Nice little point out. Wow, gets bid right back up. So I just want to pull this chart back in here and take a look at this. This is a level that I personally thought was a level of interest, and it's showing me over and over again that, yeah, we might hit some turbulence. But look at the attempts at this level. Boom, 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 boom. That was VWAP clean right there at 136.36s as well. So nice little bounce to VWAP. So if I were to actually take this trade properly and be like, okay, trend break short, reversion to VWAP, it did get there on that platform. On our P8 platform, it already got in that area a while back. So
market climbing right back up here, OB.
Yeah, it definitely, it's
big time
around,
recovery
yeah.
here in IBIT too. Like all that selling, boom, bounces off of this supply zone and then heads right back towards the high of the day. Silver putting in a new high, 66 mark. I think we can get here momentarily. And then the market, like the TQQQ, is really not doing too much, to be honest with you. I mean, we gotta wait for this 42.49. And then a nice bounce off of that low. Are we going to break this? I'm not going to be buying it here because I'm not proven wrong until 42.70. That's 30 cents. So if we get an additional pullback and then in the latter half of the session that we want to continue to climb higher, then so be it. But at this point, you might put in a new high of the day across the board. Only 12 cents away from target on SLV, and then we're going to get all out of this one, the remaining amount, and then look for that other high quality opportunity. Wow, what a rebound in IBIT. Oh, bro, a new high of the day, IBIT. Market, another volatility spike here, OB, as Bitcoin is really starting to pick up its momentum. The volume in the overall market is really starting to pick up as well, too. So let's keep our eyes out on if there's any form of news. We did have a super chat not too long ago. Oops, fan funding. From Only God Loves, OGL. Major strategy term for MicroStrategy I've been waiting years for finally happened. Saylor will lend BTC to turn MSTR into a digital bank. Yeah, he's been talking about this for as long as I can remember. He wants to be the digital credit issuer, and that's why he continuously buys up Bitcoin. I don't know how much this guy can allocate. I don't know how much, we talk about him not having a liquidation price point or anything along those lines, but what you need is larger adoption, and I don't know if just the way the things are looking, right? Like we can totally turn the tide in the span of a year or two, but just how the regulators, we have obviously the Clarity and the Genius Act more or less reflecting around stable coins, and then we also have what can be potentially done on the blockchain. We just don't, aside from store value and essentially a limited amount in Bitcoin, I don't know if people like it, and you gotta think Jamie Dimon and company, those individuals, even though he may have turned a little bit of a tide on how he feels about it, until the banks really start to allocate it and chew this thing up, Bitcoin might be in a little bit of trouble, and we've seen that from Current. It's down 60%, and when IBIT became optionable and even stepped into the market to the public, I thought that some of the volatility would kick out of Bitcoin, but that hasn't been the case. It's still down 60%. It's still going with its usual ways before with these dramatic pullbacks.
Yeah, no, I remember talking about it. Like it's like what on average through different cycles, Bitcoin pulls back like what 70 to 80% at times.
Yeah.
Like where you said we're at around 60%.
Yeah,
so we're
like
in that area. We're in that ballpark
60%.
Of that pullback area. The other thing also is, I find that near its lows, a lot of times you don't hear as much hype about it. There's so much hype when it's above 100K, and then you stop hearing about it. There's other things that become in play. There's other things, that people start to focus on. Maybe it's silver, maybe it's gold, maybe it's oil, maybe it's energies, and then it kind of goes into the back burner, not only in people's, portfolios, but their minds as well. And then eventually, when nobody's talking about it anymore, starts to get that slow, steady creep right back up, and then boom, another leg.
Things can turn around pretty quick, but I think it'll be in the latter half of this halving cycle. So 2027, late 27 maybe, because 28, I believe, or is it?
I don't know when. I kind of. Yeah.
I think it was 24, right? The last halving cycle was 24. We can figure that out real quick. I'm pretty sure it was 24. I'm sure why didn't the chat said anything just yet about it? Okay, yeah, the most recent one was April. So almost 2 years ago, right? Like a couple weeks away, 2 years ago, that previous halving cycle. At that time, when BTC goes 93, that's not true. Why is it saying this? Is that Canadian maybe? But yeah, current block reward is 3.1. I don't even know how accurate this is. Next block reward is going to be a half. I don't think that's accurate at all. I think we're at the half point right now.
Are we back at 90? Is that what that says?
No. See, that's what I'm saying. This is misleading information. I don't know if this is Canadian dollars or over 2010 blocks. So yeah, we'll get a little bit more information on that here. Misleading hallucinations from Gemini here, and see a little bit more. Having cycles. Bitcoin having progress chart with price history explained to me on 5, like on 5, understanding Bitcoin having Investopedia. So where is the current one that we're sitting at? The halving process occurs April 24th. So you're still, for every block reward, you're still getting 3 Bitcoin. That's going to be reduced in half to 1.7 or something along those lines. And then after that, 8 years from now, it's going to be you're going to be only collecting a fraction of a Bitcoin. Let's see if the value steps right back into this thing. It doesn't take much, or I mean, aside from what we've seen over the past little bit, maybe that was just a little bit more of excitement. How much can Saylor absorb? If this guy gets to him, I think I don't know what his objective is. He's trying to buy as much as he possibly can. He's already at $750,000, a little bit more than that. $1 million worth of a million Bitcoin is going to be a substantial amount of the supply, considering there's only 20-something plus, I believe, million in total, plus all the Bitcoin, which is amounting to about 20% that is lost in lost wallets that can never be recovered, whether it be individuals who lose them somehow, lose the passcode or whatever it may be, and officially lock them out. So 20% of the supply just immediately gone just like that. With Michael Saylor looking to grab $1 million, you have the BlackRock ETF, as successful it is, obviously going to the open market, buying some when the inflows come in and when they go out. So I mean, it's a bit tougher of a look in the crypto space right now, but maybe in the near future we'll see greener pastures.
Yeah, for sure. I was thinking, don't some governmental agencies also hold BTC here? I guess the U.S. government holds an estimated of 200 to 330, roughly, thousand BTC. That's a pretty decent chunk. I guess Saylor still holds a decent chunk more.
Out of institutions, yeah, he holds the most for sure.
Oh, I just searched how much BTC does the CIA hold, because there's a rumor that I heard a while back that they were interested in some Bitcoin as well. So I guess undisclosed is the answer that I got there. So that's an interesting answer. SKYQ saying Taylor, another one. Yeah, nice, good stuff there. So I guess the break of trend there, nice little another leg up here coming in on Sky Query. What did these guys do? What was the catalyst on this one this morning? I guess NVIDIA refinery gain. Oh yeah, Nevada, not NVIDIA. Sky Query's Nevada refinery gains strategic value as Brent crude surpasses 110 and West Coast refining capacity shrinks. Interesting stuff. So I guess these guys are an oil-related name. Integrated Oil, Energy, Minerals here. What do they got going on? Energy Solutions Company, which engages in deploying technologies to facilitate the recycling of waste asphalt shingles and remediation of oil-saturated sands and soils, providing sustainable refined crude products. Okay, so the crude product company there on Sky Q. So interesting stuff. Haven't really been involved, but yeah, shout out to Taylor saying that, yeah, another one, I guess. I'm going to assume that you were long here. Decent volume spike into VWAP and breaking this prior high here as well. I don't know if I really want to chase some of these things, especially when, I don't know if I would chase a high like this, especially when the opening range is kind of, it's in between that opening range. I think this high could be interesting, 5 halves, or even opening range highs at 5 eighths. And get back up to 6 halves. That'd be very interesting here. But I think a lot of the good moves pretty much already happened in the pre-market. You can just see from some of these volume bars that the most volume on the run up from $3 to $6.50. So the long was not wrong coming into this morning. And that happened when? That happened from about 7 a.m. to about 7:39. So in 40 minutes, stock gave you over 100% of a move and a decent backside as well as it recovered. I guess I'm going to say about roughly 50%. Yeah, 42 nice percent back down from pre-market highs on that one. So not really looking at anything else. Watching some USO as of right now. Sidhu saying Keith. Okay, so is Sidhu doing something right now? Ooh, nice. Sidhu's all the way back. So look at that, $3.05 on SIDU, doing some decent relative volume. Again, it's a long weekend as well, right? So I guess this is one of the names maybe you could be watching. only really started getting volume at 12:30 today. 1.5 times to 2 times, all pushing almost 4 times our vol as of right now. And this looks like a little bit of capitulation at that $3 level here on SIDU. You got to remember, there's definitely some bags on this one, and look at that supply coming in exactly where it did last Wednesday at $3 and some change. So maybe today's the squeeze. No idea. We'll have to wait and see about this one. But SIDU having some decent relative volume coming into the end of the day, or the middle of the day here. So let's see. Do they have any news? 10K loss. Yeah, they had earnings yesterday. Didn't really do too much on earnings. Breaking out of prior day's high, I guess. Yeah, earnings day one high breakout. If you had that on radar, that 232 break could have been nice. Weekly high Monday, I guess 250s. Yeah, there's a lot of different opportunities here that could have been taken on the push. And since that volume comes in, look at that, almost 37% off the break. If you're measuring off the open, that's about 51%. So crazy stuff there on SIDU. It seems like maybe poised for a little bit of a backside move as of right now on this one. Back above, holding VWAP and back above 137s there on USO. And again, I was looking for that a potential reversion, a potential sell on AMD. Guess what, guys? It has not come in. Sure, there was a little bit, maybe there was some scalps to be had here, but too much sideways chop and within the range. That break a trend, I'm usually expecting it to kind of really start to show some sellers. And if you're going to show me a sustained sideways action, I'm less likely to be like, okay, well, this is a good reversion for me to be involved with. So not really my cup of tea when it comes to reverting something like that. I like, usually for a reversion, I like something, I guess SIDU would definitely count as something that I would want to revert on the day today. Look at that. That's very capitulatory. You have your inverse hammer, shooting star, whatever you want to call it, there with the highest volume bar on the day. So it gives you a level to risk off of, right? It gives you a level where you know you're ultimately wrong if you're getting in on the backside, and then you can even draw a quick little line here and be like, okay, cool, look, it has broken a bit of its trend on the day after a strong bid that lasted over, let's just measure this out. Where does that volume come in? Okay, cool. So over an hour, hour and 20 minutes. So we could definitely squeeze into the end of the day. I'm not going to leave that out of the cards, but decent, I guess, price action happening on SIDU. So thank you for pointing that one out, Keith.
Yeah, let's see. Let's go over to our other favorite social media platform. That's going to be TikTok. Bravely putting in some things on the chat. Guys, we said we were getting out at 66 on silver. We did. So we're fortunate enough to get that trade. And then now it pulls back 40 cents roughly from that level. So the market's still hovering strong, holding strong, but a nice little down flush in SLV. We're all out of that trade. 66 was that final target, and we get out of that one. But let's head over to TikTok, guys, and see what we got going on. Bravely, our social media moderator, throwing out some questions from you guys. Thoughts on Visa as a trading vehicle? I mean, there's times when tickers are in play, and some are in play more often than the other. Nice card. That's it. Yeah, we tried, MF. We tried. It was a nice try. I wish we had more shares. That's just typically how it goes, but that wasn't necessarily the case. All right, let's head over to Visa. And some names are essentially like, you can classify something in play, in my opinion, during earnings, but it's not a typical name that we would trade from an intraday standpoint. Why? Look at the liquidity, right? And like this is, even though this is a 1 minute time frame, you can see the liquidity issues even on the 5 minute. So as you get in higher time frames, not so good. Like massive intraday gap up. That's not good. Like it's very hard to participate in that, and you don't know which way it's going. So as for a trading vehicle, I think there's a time and a place for most tickers. Some are just in play a little bit more often than the other ones. So I'm not saying it's not, but I just don't think it's an everyday looker when you see how Sean and Neil are trading IBIT or the TQQs or NVDA or AMD or something along those lines. those have more liquidity, and that's essentially what we're looking for, is who is providing and what has the most liquidity in order for us to take a potential trade there. I think you can pop that one back up there, Assassino, if you want to. I'm sure we went over that. Yeah, no, that's totally fine. So I was looking up the top Bitcoin holders. Satoshi's going to be number one. Saylor probably getting close to that third place spot. Binance is up there. Grayscale and BlackRock as well are some of the top 5 holdings, guys, as for Bitcoin. So the institutions are still grabbing this stuff. I mean, if you think about it, I don't know what goes behind the scenes. I don't know if anybody really does, other than the people pulling the strings. But essentially what I was thinking is like, okay, this is now optionable. You have the ETF, one of the most successful ETF launches of all time, the most successful ETF launch of all time, to be honest with you, the IBIT ETF. These guys are going to want to pay top dollar for Bitcoin. So, I mean, allow it to sell. It's down substantially off of that high, 55%. They slowly start allocating this stuff, but I mean, you have to take into consideration, for every seller, there's a buyer. So whoever's offloading their Bitcoin, someone has to be picking this up, regardless, because it just is how the system is built. So I mean, at the end of the day, maybe we can continue to climb a little bit higher, but if it doesn't, then it is what it is. I know a lot of people are with it, a lot of people are not, and that's just the nature of the crypto beast right now. So. Other than that, guys, a nice little move there on silver. We're out of that one. I don't know if I can take the short on the market just yet, considering we'll look up here. This is if you ask me, a little bit lengthier of a consolidation, and then maybe we can get that move a little bit lower. Failed to establish a new high, and you have about 15 minutes where you're just running into that 43.14 resistance zone. And if it pops through, then you just get out of dodge on that trade. NVDA, the exact same thing, almost a double top. And if you head back to some of the other larger names, like we talk about the Googles continuing to climb, so that's something that can make it a little bit more difficult as you run through the Googles, the Apples, the Microsoft, and the Amazon, and you're looking to short the Qs, and they're not all really moving in tandem, then you can run into a little bit of trouble, and it can give you analysis paralysis on which direction you specifically want to take, Obi.
I'm just talking to Claude about that news terminal that Cool Brioche sent in, just like, okay, where do they get their information from? Where do they get their quotes? What APIs are they using for their fast deliveries? And yeah, it's interesting stuff. I also asked Claude if you could make me my own terminal as well, and how much would it cost me per month, I guess. And it's giving me roughly an estimate of $300 to $400 a month. So interesting, yeah, definitely much better to. So there you go. So that Bloomberg costs roughly $27,000 a year. That Godel costs about $1,000 a year. If I made my own terminal and paid for my own, I guess, market quotes from Polygon and then from Benzinga and other things, it could cost anywhere between $600 to $2,400. So I guess that's it's a variable. That's a big range, $600 to $2,400. I guess I would definitely be willing to do, even $1,000, but $600 to $2,400. That's got to figure out why there's such a strong range there, but. Maybe Claude can build me something of a decent news terminal there at a much lower cost. But I'm not really watching anything else other than this USO. USO holding that 136 level quite well. So we did get some news reports today, and throughout those news reports, all we did was knock around some intraday support and resistance levels. A bigger picture, guys, I want to continue talking about how this vehicle is so technically sound. We broke above that 124. I was talking about that 124 just yesterday. Get rid of that VWAP. So consolidation, range, consolidation between 124s and I guess 110s, if you want to call it the lower end, but the mid-range was about 116s, and we held that quite well. Step up, breakout, past it on Monday of this week, and then fine. Okay, cool. Decent aggressive breakout where you had an all-day steady bid all the way up into 130s, pulls back in, and then starts consolidating, orbiting. This is where we started to observe some of that disconnect from the rest of the market, where the market was doing its own thing, and then USO and oil was doing its own thing. But take a look at this consolidation. I was very suspicious about this yesterday as well, especially with Trump coming out with his talk at 9 p.m. And guess what? Today we gap up above the range in the pre-market and push even higher for that continuation of a breakout. So what does this look like? Wow, here we go, 138s. Here's the thing, if I wanted to collect some inventory to take through 140, that should have been done at 136 halves or maybe even 137 60s, but seems like that we're almost poised for that 140 to potentially come in going into the end of the day. But I'll take a look at it once again if we do break that 140 with any sort of distinction. Let's take a look at, I guess, I like to look at a 3-hour, and then we'll go to the daily and the weekly here as well. You can see nice little stair-step push on USO. There was one viewer who was talking about how they were long 111s and then they sold into 124s. Still not a bad trade, decent trade. You're taking into the range. But take a look. We're gapping above the range, holding above the range highs, continuing that breakout. This pullback was pretty healthy. But again, you got to be watching crude oil futures. That's where the rest of the information is, right? That's where all of the information is, to be honest. We had a high of 118.80s here on CL, and that was just on the 9th of March. That's where I drew a lot of those support and resistance levels because that was some of the most volume that this vehicle did over the past, I guess, multiple months. So I like that range, high volume day, good relative volume, a lot of participants happening throughout those days. So the levels that are formed during those high volume events are of significance to me. So we held them quite well. We held some of those ranges quite well, and now we're breaking out and pushing, attempting to go for that 118. It seems like on this action, on the most recent developments here. But if you were observing some of that consolidation, some of that push, maybe you could have placed a bet of oil potentially going a little bit higher as well at the same time, because price action is definitely king, and the price action was saying a lot more than meets the eye, I guess. Maybe it does meet the eye because you can see the price action.
Yeah.
But I like watching this CL as well because that's where most of the information is. Crude oil trades 24/7, except for taking a break, I think, for an hour on Fridays. So
What do we got on Tesla there, Gorev? Market's moving a little bit lower, but let's see what we got going on here with TSLL. Okay, I like that. Way to call that out, like right there. What's it displaying on the 5? Volume starting to pick up. I would like to see a little bit more of a wick here, Gorev. I think that's just too much body for me. I mean, but the volume is there. You got that right, but the momentum, I think a little bit more buying pressure might be needed here on this one. USO going right back towards the high of the day. We could pull that up here for you in just a second. USO.
I mean, right back into that supply zone.
Yeah, it went right back into there. What a dog, man. Aside from that, I bet right off a bounce on VWAP, and that's why, so this was my mistake, essentially. Look where I'm buying the breakout here of this pivot. It doesn't happen. It's just get out, give yourself some time. It takes 45 minutes or so. But play the bounce off of VWAP instead of me having to hold off all the way through here. It's just, and that's what I typically do, right? We just try to wait for bounces off of the volume weighted average price or any form of reaction, and that was a really faulty move on my behalf. And we try not to repeat those mistakes, right? So it's just hey, you can't always be in something. You just have to be patient and wait for it to get to a location where the risk to reward ratio makes sense. There's no point in going from green to red on some nonsense like I essentially did. Did that twice this week, to be honest with you, OB. Twice, green to red.
USO did that twice, or?
I did that twice.
Oh, yeah.
Green to red today, twice. But I mean, we got plenty of time. Let's see what the afternoon breaks. Yeah, good call out. Good call out there, Gorev. It's getting somewhat of a pop there. I might like this if we can hold this up. USO continues to climb. Inverted hammer candle on USO. Still a little bit of buying pressure right there. Silver starting to get a rebound here as well. How much we get? 6 cents. for a potential pop there in Tesla. It's not participating. Look at the market. Look at the larger names. I know we had deliveries here today, but NVDA, Google, Microsoft, Amazon, Meta, all pretty strong here for the first bit of the session, and then Tesla is just doing absolutely nothing. Bubkiss, as Sharif would like to say. How's Netflix up to 98? Leanne, you still holding on to those? You said they expired today, so just obviously be cautious of what you got going on there. I think at this point, off to the races we go here at Netflix. A nice strong candle, healthy pullbacks, break through these previous pivots, and then let's go. I mean, $75 all the way up to $100, you're going to catch 30% right there. $70 there roughly. So I mean that's not bad, right? We'll take that all day, every day. And there goes that signal, Gore. Still not enough buying pressure stepping in within that print. So a little bit tougher of a look. If it continues to slide, then we'll look for some signals and wait for some precision entries to get involved with Tesla.
Yeah, I'm just I'm seeing this infographic posted by Trader TV Research here that just popped up on my feed. Interesting stuff here, so make sure to give us a follow there. Red start to the year. So how have some of these Mag 7 stocks performed in Q1 of 2026? Definitely a strong red start. Softy looking hella weak here, relatively much weaker than the rest of the market, down 23.46% at the close of Q1. Apple, gotta love Apple right there, with that 666 minus 6.66% down, so nothing too crazy relative to some of these other names. The only one lower, I guess higher technically, is NVIDIA at a minus 6.5% right there. Amazon coming in at almost minus 10, Alphabet at 8, Meta 13, and then Tesla at negative 17.35. So yeah, a bit of a red start to the year. But I'm always asking, like, okay, cool, we started red to the year.
When did Adair drop that one?
I think this was a few seconds ago, 2 minutes ago.
Okay, nice.
Yeah. Nice. So yeah, interesting stuff. But whenever I see something like that, I do want to take a look at a much higher time frame chart, because my question becomes, if we're gonna, I talk about candle formations, right? So when also I guess AMD is pushing through high a day at 216. That's interesting. Market's still consolidating sideways, but we'll go to the SPY here, because we just saw. Or actually, you know what? We can go to TQs, but I'll go to SPY first. We'll go to a 12-month chart and see how we're doing on the year. There's still 8 months left, right, for the next quarter. But guess what? This is an interesting chart, because yeah, Q1 a little bit of red, but the question becomes, are we building that bottom wick on this 12-month chart? That's always the question that I'm asking on these higher time frame charts. Go to 6 months and give us some perspective here. You can see the breakout out of this 2022 has been going on for a few years now, right? So sure, the market, there's been different regime changes. There's going to be different market environments, but this is one of the indicators I like to use to remind me that certain stocks only go up. So you can see here, yeah, every little breakout has been absolutely solid, and this is why a lot of people say, buying the breakouts or buying every dip in the market has not necessarily led you astray, especially since I would say about when was this breakout? 2012, right? 2012. Before that, it was kind of sideways chop. Roughly, sure, you had some years that gave you multiple years that gave you a run. 2002 till 2008, and then you had the financial crisis there. You had COVID around 19, and then you had the flush around 22s, and then you had a strong flush last year, which got bought up by the presidential bid mid-year in around April, and that got us pretty decently green. It's something to keep in mind. Year open on the SPY is coming in at 683.84s. We're currently trading at 654.24s. So maybe something to keep in mind on the bigger picture there. Imagine the world. Yeah, exactly. Moihar saying, I don't know. I don't know if there's going to be a reversion on this chart, because if this trend breaks, you can throw up a moving average on a 12-month or a 6-month, or let's even go to a 3-month chart here. If this trend breaks with any sort of distinction, here we can just, you already see I have some of my anchors and everything. If this trend breaks, that could be a very interesting time for us in the markets as well, on a multi-year, maybe even multi-decade. Yeah, I guess you can say almost multi-decade run on the markets there. So the markets haven't always gone straight line up, but I guess the past few years have been absolutely solid for longs.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's been the narrative. Intraday is obviously give and take. We give some back there on TSLL. So, it's 15 minutes left leading into the weekend. Might just call it where we are and not dig too big of a hole. Leading at the beginning of the month, market really selling. There's opportunities. What's up, Juan? There is opportunities throughout the day, but Tesla, that one didn't work out. Went to we put on a couple hundred shares right there. Nothing crazy anyways, but you just take a couple of cents and then it's just paper cut, and then you do something silly like I did on USO. So only 200 there, 250 over here, and then like 10% literally over there, not even 5%. So it is what it is. April, slow start again for me. I got to check my Notion and see where we're sitting at there, Obi. Yesterday was not good, and then today as well, but plenty of month left. We're just at the start of it. So yeah, we'll mark down 2 red days to start the month. And I mentioned that on Monday we did give back a little bit too much. So it is what it is. We'll be patient. We'll sit on our hands, and then once you get on a nice little streak going, then by all means we could get rocking and rolling for sure. So. Keep those losses small. You can gain it back, but then you can also have to take into consideration that you can lose more. As the market is sliding here right now, failed high, right? This is what I was talking about. Is just, hey, we didn't put in a new high right there, and then now we're starting to sell. With that being said, USO probably heading towards the top end of its range. If not, if it broke through it, which I wouldn't be surprised if it did, 138.19. So yeah, a big time move up there in USO. Breaking through that previous pivot that I was looking to get approximately an hour and a bit ago, which we weren't fortunate enough to do. Yeah, we tried only starter size. We can get back in later. Yeah, I'm done. Yeah, I'm done. Yeah, thanks. Appreciate that. I think that's it. We got 12 minutes left here in the show. We can go over some options chain stuff. I'm not shut down or anything along those lines. It's just like, hey, let's keep those losses small as the market's continuing to bleed. Tesla's really selling, NVDA selling, Google's breaking down, heading towards a key support level in the overall market as USO is continuing to climb higher there, guys. So Meg 7 on the downward trajectory. Tesla not participating on today's price action, had its own plans, eventually breaks through that support in the latter half of the day, and then boom, straight to the downside right there in TSLA. And then back to USO, we take a look at the options chain for a couple of tickers before we send it back to Obi. This is really driving me nuts. Let's see what we got going on. Apple, same thing. We were talking about this name, 5-minute, coming back in, helping the markets go a little bit lower. How are some of these cybersecurity names doing? I think we want to take a look at them, considering they've essentially been really on the downside. CrowdStrike, how have you been doing? Okay, not so bad. How we look on a daily, a little bit of a recovery, but after we broke through this downtrend, we had to go through that pullback. Probably wick out some of the longs, and then now we start to bounce. So we did establish a higher low right there, so something positive in one of the larger cybersecurity names. Now, where's PanW from market cap standpoint? PanW is larger. Why is this all scrambled? Okay, interesting. Let's just type it in here and see if we can find it. So yeah, a nice bounce, indecision print right there off that 142 mark with a high of around 224. You're still sitting down 27%. Market continuing to slide. 10 minutes left here, Obi. Is there anything in particular you're looking at right now?
Yeah, I heard you mention that Tesla And yeah, what a beautiful breakdown. We were talking about a flag earlier and a beautiful continuation of that flag to the downside when we break down that 364 area that I was talking about. And then I guess opening range low, was that in the pre-market, that quick little dip? Yes, it was. So the opening range low actually sitting at 363s and some change. Intraday low coming in at 363.40s. 50, so roughly in around there. You can see increased volume. The breakdown of low of day gives you that $3 move, which is roughly about half a percent or just over on Tesla. So decent breakdown happening there on Tesla. Another one that I have eyes on right now is Meta. Take a look at this flat. Talk about a flat bottom. It's got a flat top as well. Sideways consolidation here on Meta. How far is it away from VWAP? Pretty close, so maybe not as good as the rest of them. MSFT, let's see what you're up to. Okay, well, we just talked about how MSFT was the most sold off in Q1 of 2026. Guess what? We are seeing a little bit of strength alongside the rest of the market today, but just pulling right back into prior days ranges on this one. So there's that volume candle right there. Boom, nice. Yeah, NVIDIA, let's take a quick look at this one. Is it curling? Yeah, it's holding this resistance from the morning here pretty decently. So yeah, maybe continuing to keep eyes on this one. If we are going to curl, if we're going to break down, then some reversions may be in store. Let's go to a 15-minute, nothing there. 30-minute, okay, cool. Remember I was pointing out this level earlier where I was just like, yeah, yesterday we had a bit of double top supply here on NVIDIA at 177s and some change. Guess what? Today we get that strong aggressive bid all the way from the lows, about 4% to the upside, and then we stall and hold those prior days levels where, you know, sellers were showing themselves pretty decently, and they are showing themselves once again, slowing down that aggressive push that we had in the morning session. So with the market pulling back here, I am potentially looking for some of these breakdowns to follow through. Something to get involved with might be the TQs here, because look at that. Low at 42.40s, VWAP's all the way down here. So if it were to revert to some sort of a mean, then we're looking at 42s flat. And you can see here, if we're looking for a 50% reversion here on the NASDAQ, that's, again, in and around that 23,950 level. But we'll have to wait and see. It's been pretty choppy, and we're still within that chop range, right? Even though it looks like we're about to break down, there's still almost 7 minutes left on this 15-minute candle to finish printing. So a lot of information still has to be done. But Tesla is the only one that's really following through. That 360 could be incoming right now as we speak on Tesla. Oh boy, okay, yeah, it is incoming right now. Only about a quarter away, yeah.
It's really
40 pennies, 40, 50 pennies away from that low on Tesla. But I guess this was the trade. You had to have it at 63 halves, 363 halves. That was a place to be in. Or if you were astute and you were just like, okay, well, you know, we gap down on some of the strongest catalysts that this name has, deliveries. It's probably even stronger than earnings for Tesla, right? So you have a strong catalyst that comes in. Are we doing relative volume today? Yes, we are. Just over 1.4 to 1.3 on the day on a 5 period, and then you consolidate. You start holding VWAP, and maybe that's where you're starting to get involved on the retests of VWAP into the flat bottom break, giving us a little bit of a bouncy ball-ish type pattern underneath VWAP at 364s. There, that breakdown coming in quite nicely. Let's see if that 360 breaks. We're just right there. Joe, there it goes, 360.01s. Maybe I should be pulling up the tape on this one. But again, just to watch. I'm not really going to get involved, as I said before. If I wanted to punch this short, I should have been in $3 earlier. I'm not going to chase that 360 breakdown, which is just an arbitrary 360 whole number. I don't know what it is, but a lot of people like whole numbers. Sometimes they come into play, sometimes they don't. But structure, breakdown is what definitely weighs a lot more for me. I guess 138s here on USO still holding up quite nicely. We've knocked against this level multiple times here. I'll show you guys my chart once again here on USO. You can see here multiple tests of this area. This is in and around that opening range low as well, around 138. So every time we get up here, a little bit of turbulence pulling back into 136s. Let's see if this time around is different though. With the market pulling back into its consolidation range lows, maybe we do get that push right back up. I will be looking, if we do get to 140, that'll be amazing, and I'm definitely going to be looking to make some decisions in and around there. But it seems like, yeah, that VWAP buy was not a wrong idea on USO today, especially after it reclaimed VWAP. On 2-3 tests of VWAP, you observed like absorption in and around this 137s. We did kind of flush into this 136 area, but that got bought right back up. So definitely buyers showing their hand in and around VWAP on the day today. 360s on Tesla still holding, a little bit of a chop there. I think we only got to about a few pennies, maybe a quarter below there under the level. So not really the cleanest of breakdowns, but still continuing that sell-off off of the range, or the flag breakdown, or the range breakdown.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it really broke that level. It took the majority of the day just accumulating, and then the momentum really just picked up. I mean, we tried it again, and then I was like, you know what? Let's be patient on that one and wait. We were fortunate to have that trade. But that was it, really, the bigger winner. I mean, a couple scalps on the TQs. USO is really. We won't be doing that again. That's for sure. On USO, come back, clean slate, bright and early Monday morning, and get rocking and rolling here. USO, pap, right? And just like get out of the trade as soon as it breaks that low. Momentum picks, and we were fortunate enough to sit in a Donald Trump uptick. And then that's the thing, right? Like, so where do we go wrong? Like, where are we essentially wrong? There's a bunch going on here, but if I was just patient enough like the other trades and waited for all this to step in, waited for this noise to happen at VWAP, you continuously bounce off of it, you come back, you retest it almost to the penny, and then bang, sure enough, off to the races you go, and it gives you that good risk to reward where you know if it breaks this previous pivot, you're out of dodge, opposed to me having to hold this all the way south of this pivot all the way down there instead of waiting for that pullback. Obi was, he got that short right there, so that was nice. He added into it as well. So glad that worked out for you, at least for one of us anyways. That's a good trade. Big mistake, and that's what it'll cost you. Like, you do something silly like this, and you guys don't ever really see me DCA. I usually average up into a trade, right? Like, if it's really working, I add in, or I just go full size right out of the jump. Like, if we're gonna do it, let's do it. And sure enough, this was like, okay, let's buy some. That wasn't necessarily the game plan, and then it started to come in aggressively, all right? Silver, we had the intentions of buying some more at 25, which it ran right into, 65, and then it ran right into 65 essentially and went, but we just held on to this, a little bit of our position right here, and then sure enough, we were fortunate enough to get into that move into 66, and then it started to come back in, so our last partial right at that top tick, which we were fortunate enough to participate in. Market not doing anything really, Obi, not looking good for Tesla. 2NY was asking me, hey, Joe, when do we think that next level of support is going to be? And I don't see anything until that 344 mark on Tesla, to be honest with you. And why am I saying 344? Maybe are we going to continue to slide in that way? And in an environment where you think you would see an uptick in the EV trade, not necessarily the case. Channel still fully intact. Multiple opportunities to breach through. I remember we were talking about it back here. We sit on the opposite end and we're like, hey, okay, are we ready to turn around? No, that's not the case. Obi, you like structure breaks? There's multiple throughout this price action chart, throughout this daily chart. Like, there you go, you break that neckline pivot, double pivot right there, and then you continue to slide. And why am I saying 344 or within that neck of the woods? It's just due to this supply zone right here from before. So maybe somewhere in this neck of the woods, you get somewhat of a bounce, Obi, in TSLA.
Yeah, no, for sure. I guess I'm going to continue watching this Tesla, see if it has any bounces that I can get involved with, if the market is going to continue breaking down. Watching some of the Mag 7s as well as they break down. But Tesla, again, it was already relatively weaker, and with a little bit of weakness coming into the market, that crack really comes down. So a big miss on my part, not really getting involved in that one. Can't be watching everything, especially when I'm kind of watching USO like a hawk here all day long. Let's see, what is it? JP Morgan saying oil risk topping 150 BBL if Hormuz flows stay disrupted into mid-May. Yeah, I do think that, I mean, with the way we're stepping up into 118s, if we break 118s on crude, then yeah, you open up yourself to the next quarter, and then if you hold that, then yeah, exactly. If tensions continue to rise, you can get that 150 on crude oil as well. And who knows where USO might be if crude oil is at 150, right? It might be at like 175, 200 on USO. And that multi-month breakout, what a follow through that would have been, right? So, I mean, it's showing everything. It's showing all the right stuff for the longs, I guess, or it has been since the breakout of, I think it was 90 somethings there. Or 80s, but I don't remember specifically. But yeah, no, it's been pretty decent. I can show you guys what I'm talking about here on USO. We'll go straight to the weekly chart